some of y'all can see me twice. I don't know why that is, but I don't, whatever. There's not much to see with me when you're going to look at me. It's the slides that are important. So let's get cracking. Okay. So here's how this stuff works. So what I'll do is I'll give you a big overview of the system itself. All right. And then we'll get into like the macro levels. Okay. And so I'm doing this so you can see my mouse move around. So everything's driven by social media posts, and we can turn those posts into ads if we want to, and we probably will, the ones that work, and that's great. And the good news about this is we're only using three types of, I'm reading the comments, it's throwing me off. The recordings will be available in your members area. Okay, I don't think everyone's seeing me twice, so I think everything's cool. Oh, that's right. You're seeing me twice because I'm showing my full screen that has a video of me on there. Okay, look at there. Did that fix it? Nice. Ha! Only been using Zoom forever. Okay. So anyway, all this stuff is driven by social media, right? And now I'm going to make these comments smaller because it's throwing me off and weirding me out. Um, there we go. Everything's driven by social media. Now, here's the cool thing, right? I used to think, and it still works incredibly well, by the way, but I used to think that you had to go live all the time to make social media work, because when you go live, you get more engagement and all of this kind of stuff. And I got tired of doing it, really. Like, I just don't want to, like it definitely works. Like if you go live, you're going to get engagement and you can sell stuff. And if the more you do it, the more powerful it becomes and all of that kind of stuff. All of those statements still hold true. But what I found, because I'm lazy and I don't really like to go live because I just don't want to mess with it, is that, there are really only three types of posts that you ever have to make, and you don't have to be in them. They don't have to have pictures of you. They don't have to be videos, and they certainly don't have to be live. And so that's great. So our social media component in terms of what to post and all that stuff, really simple. Like, I'm going to give you frameworks on what to post. Like, you're going to be like, okay, dude, enough with the social media posts already. I get it, but I don't want to leave any stone unturned there. So we're just going to make one of each type of posts per day, starting tomorrow at most. Right. And you don't even really have to do one of each per day, but ideally, if you really want to go hog wild, it's three types of posts, one of each per day. Okay. Incidentally, I'm going to take questions at the end, and I will do it by answering what's in the Q&A panel, and I will do it I will start answering questions that are asked at the actual end. All right. And so just kind of hold them for now, because when you're asking them, I can see it in my screen here, and it's messing me up. So like, y'all are cool. I got you. All right. But like, let's just stay focused here. Okay. So we got that three types of posts. Now, the way the system works, we got our three post types, and then people are going to respond. And there are four ways that they could respond in a way that's going to enable us to do anything. All right. Now, there's other stuff they could do, but these are the ways that can cause us to be able to do stuff. Number one, they can DM you, or they can leave a comment on the post itself. All right. Now, when they do that, we can respond to them via direct message, and we can do that manually, which works extremely well. That was the first way that I started using this stuff, was just doing it manually, and was like, holy crap, I can't believe this works. Or you can automate it. I'm going to show you how to do both. All right. So either of these things put us into interacting with our prospect via direct message world. The other two ways that they can respond to any of these three posts right here is that they can type in your domain name. If you show them your domain name in the post, I did a test. I'll share that with you on Friday. It was bonkers. I showed a special domain name that I tracked. No one had ever seen it before. You'll just have to wait till that day. So they can type in your domain name. If that happens, they're going to go straight seeing your offer, right? Like, you're not going to be able to direct message with them or anything, and that's cool. Or if you put a link in the post, like, hey, click here to go do something, they could potentially click that link and they'll end up at your offer, right? So we got three types of posts. They can do all sorts of things, and at the end of the day, they end up at your offer, right? Now, if we know this to be true, if we know that all roads point to the offer itself, them seeing your pitch, whether it's for a strategy session or whether you're selling teacups online or t-shirts or skincare or courses or high ticket stuff or accounting services, or you're a restaurant or barbershop trying to get appointments. It doesn't matter. All that stuff follows into them, or falls into the category of them seeing your offer. So if we know this to be true, right, like we're going to go through all this stuff, right? I'm just giving you the big picture blueprint for now. If we know this to be true, that all roads lead here no matter what, and yes, of course, you can have the slides. What's the most important thing for us to get right? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Bueller? The offer, Monica Snyder says. Yes, everyone. Man, okay. I forgot there's like a little delay, I think, with the Zoom, like 30 seconds. Yeah, man, it's the offer. So I want to give you today like the holy grail for offers. So we're going to go back to full screen. And here's the thing, right? And this is what a lot of the social media experts don't really talk about. At some point, we got to sell something. Like nothing's going to happen. There's no point in doing any of this stuff if we never sell anything. And selling something, could be, again, like you could be a barbershop, just getting people to come into the shop and book appointments. It doesn't matter. We got to get ourselves some customers. So therefore, we got to start with the end in mind. And the most important part of this equation is, in fact, the offer. And the offer is just a fancy way of saying how you present your solution to their problem. And keep that word problem in mind. All right. So here's the deal. You could make 300 times more content than Gary Vee. Your content could be 300 times better than his. His is pretty good and he doesn't make a lot. So good Lord, could you imagine trying to out content that dude? I don't want to, ain't gonna, right? But let's say you did. So you can have all that. Like you have 1 billion posts a day or something. And man, if your offer sucks, you ain't gonna sell nothing. All right. So your host. So we have got to get that damn offer going. All right. And so this is where people get scared because they're like, oh man, I'm scared to pitch because people can get mad. So let's just like forget the how to do it for a minute. Let's focus on what this really involves. Okay. So here's the facts. All right. Everybody's got some sort of a problem. Okay. As it relates to your stuff that you're selling, even if you're selling something that you feel is mundane, like let's say you're selling movie tickets, like whatever. You're like, well, I'm not solving a problem. I'm just selling movie tickets. No, dude, you're solving a problem because they ain't got anything to do. They're bored. They want a fix for that boredom. If you're selling skincare, you're actually solving the problem of dry or wrinkled skin or funky looking skin or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like if you're selling socks, you're solving the problem of they ain't got no socks. Their feet hurt, whatever. Everybody's got some sort of problem. Everybody wants a solution to that problem. All right. Now, the cool thing is that really all we're thinking about is what we want as humans, as consumers. We're thinking pretty much about what we want, all right, and how we're going to get that thing that we want, which is the solution to our problem, and what life is going to be after we got that thing. That's all people think about all day. Like think of your own life and you'll probably like, damn, you know what? That's kind of all I think about, especially if you have like a significant thing that's bugging you. I had some back issues since October. They're better now, thank God, but good Lord, dude, that was all consuming. Like, how am I going to fix this damn back thing without surgery? I'm terrified of surgery. All I thought about for like 8 weeks, like, how am I going to do that? Anyway, so all we're doing when we're making offers and we're making these posts and we're creating content, we're doing this. We're demonstrating that we have their solution. All right. And I'll show you how to do that. And we're letting them know that they can buy that solution from us. And so like when you look at these, that little diagram thingy I showed you, when you look at this, you're like, wait a minute, that's a lot of boxes and shit. Now, all these boxes are basically us talking about their problem, demonstrating we can solve it, and letting them know that they can buy it from us. All right. So that's it. So let me get back here. Okay. All we're really doing ever is talking about solving their problem. We're doing that in our posts. We're doing that in our offer. We're doing that in our emails, so I already listed it out for you. We're doing it in our messages if we're sending them direct messages. It doesn't matter. Like this is our world. We are forever essentially talking about what they want and how they get it. That is our life's purpose as it relates to this. I mean, obviously not our greater purpose in life, although maybe it is, who knows? But as it relates to this stuff, that's all we're doing. Okay. And that really takes a lot of pressure off of us because, like, we don't have to talk about ourselves. So when I work with people, I get a lot of yeah, but around, yeah, but I don't have any following. What if I don't have a cool car like the other person has, or I don't have a zillion followers like the other person has, or what if I don't have the accomplishments the other person have, and all this kind of stuff. Here's the deal: they care about themselves. They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They care about that one thing right there on the screen, which is what they want. All right. Therefore, the very first question that you might want to jot down in their notes, or in your notes, where'd my dang mouse go, is, hopefully I haven't lost it, is what does your market want? Which you probably already know. The next question is how they get it, right? So we only want to focus on what they want, solution to the problem. How are they going to get it? Your stuff. How do they get it from you? Where do they go? What is your call to action, right? And at the end of the day, like, all this stuff really boils down to is we're using a combination of words and pictures to talk about those things. That, like, doesn't matter if we're making a social media post, we're making a webinar, video sales letter, writing a sales letter. This is words and pictures. We're typing and talking about those three things. That's kind of all we're doing, really. And so here's the deal. We got to make an offer. A good offer's usually got these components. Number one, we're offering the thing they want. I know that's a given, but you'd be surprised how many times I've done, a little Q&A session with someone, and they're like, here's my product, and I'm like, does anybody want that thing? And they're like, I don't know. I've been offering it for 2 years and I've only sold one. And then like 5 minutes of research reveals nobody wants that thing. So number one, obvious, I know, but still, dude, you got to be selling the thing that they want. Number two, usually pretty good idea to have some bonuses and stuff, standard issue. Number three, guarantee works pretty good. Might as well have one of those. Number four, some type of scarcity. I'll show you how to do that, even if you don't think you can, today, as a matter of fact. And the cooler you make those four components, not three. Notice my slide says three. It's actually four components. Math is not an exact science, as we all know. The cooler you make that stuff, the better the offer works. So here's the thing, and this is a surprise. The reason I'm like so hardcore about this is because I want you to sell stuff and make money and think this was the greatest investment ever. And if you don't do your offer right, that diminishes the possibility of that. So I'm trying to encourage you to do what I'm about to share with you for the sole purpose of you getting a lot of money and being happy. That's why I'm like so adamant about this right now. A big fear that people have is that, people are going to get mad at them if they make offers. Like, oh, if I make too many offers, I've got like one of these squeeze bottles of water and I'm trying to open it. And I think that I could really mess this up and get water all over myself here. There we go. Hang on. Okay. So people get freaked out about making offers. They think people are going to get mad at them, and they're afraid of no. So they'll overcomplicate it. They'll overeducate it. They'll overeducate the prospect. They'll over nurture the prospect. Like, I'm going to give them 87 pieces of content, and then I'm going to try to sell them something. And all of this is based on this fear of no, or fear that you're going to make people mad. And whatever, here's the deal. I have actually tested this, and there's research to support it, and I couldn't find the damn research. I've got it, a screenshot of it somewhere, but like 70-something% of consumers say that they prefer to see offers from brands they like on social media, like that they want to see offers from brands they like on social media. I forgot the exact number, but I did this research for a presentation a couple of years ago, and it was staggeringly high. It was like really? They actually want to see offers? And the answer is, yeah, dude, they want to see offers. Like I wear this brand called Vuori shirts, and I'm like, I wish they'd come out with more stuff and sell me more stuff because I like them. This t-shirt's one of them. It doesn't come with the cat hair, but that's extra, right? And in recent testing, like just with my own stuff, the posts that get the most engagement are the ones that say, hey, I got this thing. It's a bargain. You want it? It's a straight pitch. It's the craziest thing ever, right? So please don't be afraid of that. So what we want to do today is I want you to leave this experience today, and at the end of the day, have an offer ready to go. Like that's our mission. So I've never tried this before. I've never taught this template before. I've never given anybody this before, but this is our mission. All right. The reason we're going to spend this time on it, and even if you've got an offer already, you're like, dude, I already have an offer. It's working pretty good. I bet the template I'm about to give you will beat your control. Okay. So I'm going to give you this template and show you how to use it. And then you're going to have a badass offer. And we're going to solve this problem. Okay. Because after owning an agency and working with 82,000 clients since I've started tracking how many clients I've actually had, which I think I started tracking that in like 2014 or something. It's 82,000 paying customers. You know, the biggest problem is their offer sucks. When we run ads for people, like, the ads didn't work. I'm like, yeah, they did. We got tons of traffic. The people didn't buy. Why? Because your offer ain't worth a shit. So we got to fix it. All right. And so here's how to fix it. This is the cure right here. So I'm going to give you this template. Now, I'll also give you these slides because you're about to see these little things are hard to read. Not every slide is this hard to read, by the way. There are 16 steps. It's hard to say. 16 steps in this offer template. That might seem overwhelming. It's not, because like a couple of the steps are one sentence. I'm breaking this down chunk by chunk so you can like just bang it out today. So step number one is we make some statements, or if you want statements. And I'm going to just list the steps, then I'll go through them. Step two is we're going to make a big promise. Step three, we're going to give a common ground introduction. Step four, we're going to discuss a common pain that they have and that you have also experienced. That establishes empathy and affinity. Step number five, we're going to tell them the real reason for their common pain. Step number six, we're going to show them a unique solution that solves that problem and gets rid of that pain. And we're going to tell them the story of how we found that unique solution for them. And we're going to show the results that unique solution can deliver if we've got them. Step number seven, we're finally going to reveal the thing that you've got for sale. Step number eight, we're going to talk about the benefits of the thing that you're selling. Step number nine is we're going to talk about how it works. This is how they actually get the benefits. And I'll break that down for you in a minute. Step number 10, we're going to build the value. Hey, this normally costs $75 billion, etc. Step number 11, almost got my math mixed up and counting from 1 to 11. Good Lord. This is why I don't do my own taxes. Step number 11, we're going to reveal the actual price. All right. Step number 12, we're going to talk about the bonuses if we got them. You ain't got to always got them. I didn't have them when I sold this class, come to think of it. Step number 13, we're going to give a guarantee. Step number 14, we're going to throw in a little dash of scarcity there. It's optional, but it helps. Don't do it if you can't legitimately do it, of course. Step number 15, we're going to tell them to buy the damn stuff. And step number 16 is we're going to restate step number 1 and then steps 7 through 15. So we're just repeating it. Reason we're going to do that is because people are worried about the price. They're barely paying attention to you until you say the price. And then they're like trying to justify the price by the time you get to the call to action. And if you don't restate everything, it doesn't give their brain time to catch up. So you want to restate everything in your offer so that they'll like be more likely to buy it. So that's our framework. And of course, again, I'm giving you these slides. So here's what we're going to do. All right. This is our mission. You are the first people to ever see this. And I really, really worked hard to make this easy to do. And if you'll just do it, put all fear aside, put all self-doubt aside, put all perfectionism aside, and just follow along with me today. By the end of today, like in a couple hours after we're done, you're going to have yourself an offer that you can like slap up on the internet and people should be buying your stuff. It's pretty freaking cool. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to see some slides with instructions and examples. These slides are not pretty. I am not pretty. Therefore, why would my slides be pretty? It would be incongruent. I deliberately made them not pretty. All right. You're going to get all these slides. So all you're going to want to do is just get my slides, make a duplicate copy so you can mess with it, and then replace my examples with your stuff in the slides. All right. That's all you're doing. And then you might not even have to do that. Some people can literally just ad lib based on my examples because you're already pretty good ad libber. So you're good in that regard. All right. So once you've done that, it's super simple. Then you're going to get your phone. All right. And you're going to open up your voice recorder on your phone here. All right. So you just type, if you have an iPhone, type in voice. There's that thing, the voice memos right there, that app. If you want to, or any other recording device that you choose to use if you want to be fancy. All right. And you're going to record yourself reading the stuff on the slides. Nobody's going to hear that ever. So don't worry about it sounding good. Don't worry about getting in the perfect zone or whatever. Don't worry about any of that shit. All right. We're just getting it out of here and into a usable format. That's all we're doing in this first part. Okay. You're definitely going to mess up when you're doing this, right? So like, let's say you go to read something and you're like, okay, today we're going to talk about, damn it. Like, you whatever, you trip over some words or something. You're definitely going to do that. Don't stop the recording and start over again. Instead, wait like 5 seconds and then just say starting over and then pick up where you left off. There's a reason for that. I'll tell you in a minute. Okay. When you're done with the recording, all right, you want to get it transcribed. I recommend rev.com, rev.com. Another one is simonsays.ai. Either of those are great. And the reason why is one or both of them will let you transcribe like 15 minutes of stuff for free. So it's like, shit, you don't have to pay for it. It's amazing, right? So like basically you fill in the blanks here in this stuff that I'm about to give you. And then you sort of go through it and you read it and you do it very imperfectly and you get that transcribed. So that's phase 2. So far, we've really not done anything difficult at all. All right. Now, nobody's going to see these transcripts. Okay. You ain't sharing them. You're not publishing them. They're going to be terrible. It's going to be bad grammar, all that stuff. It doesn't matter. Okay. So next thing you're going to do is once you get the transcripts, you're not going to freak out because they're not perfect, because of course they're not going to be perfect. They're not supposed to be. But the idea here is you take those transcripts and you edit them. And I don't mean you open up a Word doc and rewrite the damn transcripts, because no one's going to see the edited version either. What you want to do is essentially cut out all the dumb shit and just have the good stuff, and then re-record yourself reading that version. So remember earlier when I said, hey, if you make a mistake, don't start over. Just pause for 5 seconds, say the word starting over, and then pick up where you left off. Well, the reason you want to do that is because when you go to like cut the dumb stuff out of the transcripts, you can just like use a little find function and whatever you're using, Google Docs, Word, Pages, whatever, notes, you can use the find function and just look for everywhere it says starting over. And that's where, you screwed up. You need to edit some stuff out. So we're not trying to make this like perfect or good. We just want to like make it so the second go around is going to be a lot smoother. Okay. So then now that you kind of cut out all the dumb stuff and you've got like a little script here, you're not on camera. You just open up the script, start talking into the phone, and do it again. Now, guess what? You're still going to make mistakes when you do it again. Do the same thing. All right. You're going to make a mistake, trip over your words. You're going to wait 5 seconds, starting over, and then just pick up where you left off. Okay. That's it. And so we're just talking, right? All we're doing is talking. We're just reading. We're not trying to get anything perfect. We're just reading this stuff. You screw up, it doesn't matter. All right. Now, once we have that recording, then we can upload it to this tool I'm going to show you when we're done today. And this is like the most ridiculous thing ever. This is how I make sales letters and video sales letters now. And it's really, it's so ridiculously simple. But it's great because I hate writing copy. I don't like to do that. It's boring. It's awful. I've never liked writing copy. It's extremely difficult. That's why I do videos. I'm like, all right, everyone's going to pull stuff out of the air and do videos. And I was like, damn, if I actually had a framework, this would make the whole thing easier. If you go and look at the last 12 minutes of the video that you watched that sold you this class, those 12 minutes were done using the exact method that I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. I'm going to give you the template now. All right. Before I do, cliffhanger, I need you to write down the answer, just whatever comes to mind. What is your big promise? Okay. Because we got to make a big promise in the offer. All right. So what is your big promise? What is the thing, the big benefit that people get as a result of buying your stuff as it relates to whatever you want to sell? So if you got 10 million products, choose one for this particular adventure. So for the sake of illustration, the big promise for this class is you're getting a simple way to become well-known, grow your brand, and get consistent leads and sales from social media without making a ton of posts or spending a bunch of money. That's my promise. I can even simplify that if I wanted to. You're going to get a whole lot of sales from social media quickly without making a ton of posts and without spending a ton of money. Right? Like that's an even shorter, more succinct version of that statement. Now, somebody like, oh man, wait, that looks like copy. You don't have to write like copy for your big promise. Just write out a big promise. It doesn't have to be perfect yet. Okay. Just get it in your mind, because when we get to the next part, we don't want to be stuck. Okay. So that's thing number one. So like if you got notes, which I hope you do, just write big promise and then insert promise imperfectly. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't matter. All right, so we got that thing down. Okay, so let's go through the steps. Okay, the first step of making a direct offer. Now, again, this is usable for sales letters, webinars, video sales letters, doesn't matter. On stage pitches, if you want to, irrelevant. This is like a universally applicable framework. It can be used to sell anything from get a strategy session, book an appointment, buy the nail polish. Doesn't matter. Like some things that are really simple, like buy the nail polish, would be very, very short. Some things that are more complex will be longer versions of this, but same thing. Okay. So the very beginning of this is if you want statements. All right. So when you're reading this out loud, you're going to say, if you want, and then you're going to list all the things that your prospect wants in relation to your product. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you examples. And while you're here and watching, instead of just waiting to get the slides and everything, you might as well just in your notepad, just like type in stuff they want and then start writing everything they want as it relates to your product here. So I know what my market wants. They want to be well known. They want to have a global personal brand. They want to build a huge audience. It's a big deal to people. They want to become a celebrity in their niche. They want to get consistent leads every day from social media. They want to build a big list of email subscribers. That's always good. They want to make sales every day from social media. They want to consistently get more and more new customers. Now, I could go on forever, right? So what you want to do is you want to make as many of these if you want statements. You want to jot them down, right, as you possibly can. And when you're recording it, if more of them come to mind, just ad lib. By ad lib, I mean just like improvise it, make stuff up while you're talking it out. You can always, like not use it in the final thing, but we're trying to get stuff out of here into a usable format. That's all we're doing, because when it's trapped in here is when it's difficult. When we're like overthinking about it, it becomes dread. And we're like, oh God, how do I do it? And if we can just get some shit out, then we can make something really cool. All right. So that's all we're trying to do. You're not going to get this perfect. Don't try to write actual good copy here. All right. Just list what they want. Okay. That's it. Don't even try to make it perfect. It's pointless. It'll drive you nuts. All right. So step number one, okay, is we are going to open our offer with a bunch of if you want statements. Now, step numero doso, okay, that's French, is now we're going to make a big promise. And we're going to do it by saying, Now, remember, we've already said, if you want, yada, 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 yada. Now we're going to introduce the big promise by saying, then you want to pay very close attention to this message. Here's why. You're about to discover big promise. All right. So, for example, then you're going to want to pay very close attention to this message because you're about to discover a simple way to become well known, grow your brand, and get constant leads and sales from social media without making a ton of posts or spending a bunch of money. All right. Now, imagine that we're doing this, and you're following along with me and you've listed out some stuff that they want. Okay. I'm just going to pretend. Get all this here. There we go. Now listen to how this sounds. All right. If you want to be, and by the way, I'm going to ad lib on some of these, right? I'm not just going to read it like a robot. I'm just going to talk. All of these things I've written are just like triggers for my brain to think. All right. If you want to become well known and have a personal brand, or maybe even build a huge audience of people who like you and ultimately become a celebrity in your niche, and as a result, get consistent leads every day from social media and build a huge list of email subscribers that you can constantly sell to, and every day experience the thrill of getting new and more sales from social media. All right. So notice how I just kind of ad libbed some of that. I'm not going to say consistently get more and more new customers because it's kind of redundant. Then you're going to want to pay very close attention to this message because you're about to discover a simple way to become well known, grow your brand, and get consistent leads and sales from social media without making a ton of posts or spending a bunch of money. Okay. Now, had I been recording that, all right, the transcripts have been pretty damn good, and I could use that in my sales message, which I'll show you in a minute how to get that from just a voice memo onto something that people actually press buy now. Okay. But that's like really simple, right? Like all we did was just talk and like, holy shit, it's kind of coming together. It's a cool thing if we just paint by numbers here. Okay. So there we go. My slides move different between screens here. It's a little bit strange. Okay, so next thing we want to do, step number 3. Remember, there's like one slide with all these steps on it, so it's kind of a deep dive in each step, is we want to give a common ground introduction. All right, so you want to say, my name is you, and I'm a common ground just like you. Now, I know there's going to be people watching this. They're like, wait a minute, I'm a dude, and I sell skincare to women. So I don't know if we really have common ground. Well, you do, because you could say, hi, my name is, Charlie Murphy, and I am absolutely obsessed with skincare because it's important to my wife, or it's important to my daughters, or maybe there's a reason why that you, like them, are very obsessed with skincare, right? Let's say that you are selling stuff to dentists, but you're not a dentist. You could say, hi, my name is Frank, and I work with dentists who want to get more customers. Most of my clients not only want to get more patients, but they also want to have more free time, right? So the common ground shifts from you to the people that you're working with and helping. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I don't want someone to be like, oh, I can't do this, I'm different, I'm special, because I don't actually have common ground with them. This either way, you're going to be okay. Don't lie to them though, right? Just you're good. Okay. So here's an example. Oh, then you're going to want to elaborate. So let me give you some examples. My name is Frank Kern, and I'm an online entrepreneur just like you. Really simple, right? Very true statement. Okay. The elaboration is where you can now start to present either a common problem or a common desire. Usually people, and this is kind of weird, they focus more on what's wrong than what's right. So you might want to start with discussing a common problem. So I'll read it for you. All right. I've always known social media was a big deal, but it was always kind of overwhelming. Okay. That's just me elaborating a little bit about why the hell they should be reading this. Okay, here's another example. I've been selling things online since 1999, and I'm about to turn 50. Maybe it's my age or something, but I never really got social media. I never felt comfortable posting selfies and motivational quotes and all that. The whole thing just felt weird. It does feel weird for me. Like I don't want to post selfies, and like sometimes I'll post semi-motivational stuff, but usually it's just dumb jokes. Right? Here's another example. Okay. And this is where I'm introducing a common ground problem, a problem that they have and that I have also experienced that they can relate to. Because again, they're all got problems and we're about providing the solution. Okay. So I just said, hey, my name is Frank Kern. I'm an online entrepreneur just like you. Now I'm at that little bottom section. If you're anything like me, your business means the world to you. And maybe you've tried social media before, but found it to be too time consuming, overwhelming, and inconsistent. I didn't even say I had that problem. I'm just bringing up the problem. That's what I mean in terms of elaboration. All right. So real easy. Hi, my name is blank. I'm a blank just like you. Here's some problems I've had that you might have had too. Like that's kind of what we're saying. All right. Okay. So now we want to go into the common pain. Remember what I said earlier. Everybody's got a problem. And all they're thinking about is solving that problem, even if you're selling something as mundane as movie tickets. Their problem is, dude, I don't know what to do. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? We got a damn problem. We're asking each other the same stupid question every 5 minutes. Oh, holy shit. There's a movie. We can go see a movie. Now the problem's solved. We have something to do. Okay. No kidding. That's how people work. I know because I'm one of them. All right. So your prospect, as well as you, has probably tried to solve their problem before. All right. This is important because, like, it doesn't matter what we're selling. It could be amazing. People like this trying to sell me something on the internet. I'm not going to buy it because I've tried before. It didn't work. Even though I didn't even read the directions, and even though I only tried for 10 minutes, it didn't work. All right. It's human nature. It's fine. Okay. So we got to understand that though. Like, we can't not address it. Right. So what you want to do is while we're talking, okay, like I'm about to be rambling. So you might as well get out the pen and pad, pen and paper, whatever, get out your note taking stuff and like write a little thing that says, stuff they've tried / problems, and start making a list. So you want to make a list of everything they might have tried and been disappointed with. Also include some stuff you've tried that maybe they haven't tried, especially if there's a story there. All right. So if you got like a crazy story, then just, put a little asterisk by it. And maybe you can ad lib the story when it comes time to. If you don't have one, doesn't matter. Right. If you know additional reasons why what they've tried didn't work, list them. Okay. And I have see the red part. So you'll understand that. So let me give you some examples to kind of illustrate what I mean. Okay. So remember, we're not writing the copy here. Okay. This isn't where you're like, okay, I got to write perfect copy. Like this could just be bullet points. Because when you record it, you can sort of ad lib and ramble on. It doesn't matter if you screw it up. And if it sounds stupid, you just take the stupid parts out. Most of the stuff I say sounds stupid. I just take the dumb stuff. Well, I take most of I leave the least dumb stuff in. I take the dumbest stuff out. Okay. That's what's going on in my content. So don't be trying to make it perfect. Don't try to write great copy right now. We're just getting it out of your brain into a form that we can work with. All right. So here are some of the things that people might have tried that didn't work. They tried going live every day. And then I put a little note here. They run out of stuff to say. Nobody watches. They feel dumb. It's time consuming. So what I'm doing there is where I say, if I know additional reasons why it didn't work, then list them. So the thing they tried was going live every day. The reason it didn't work was they run out of stuff to say. Sometimes nobody watches. It makes them feel dumb. It takes forever. It kind of sucks, right? It doesn't really suck, by the way. It's, well, I got tired of doing it, but it's still a viable strategy. I just don't want to mess with it, but it would suck if nobody saw it ever. That is inevitable if you've never done it before. You have no following, but nonetheless, that's not what this is about. Okay, here's another one: making cool videos. So maybe they tried to make cool videos. They spent all day working on this video. Man, they thought it would be great. They got it subtitled. They put music. It took forever. They had to pay a guy on Upwork to make it cool. They didn't know what to say, and it took forever. And nobody saw the damn video after all that trouble. So the problem is making cool videos. The reason it didn't work is some of that stuff, right? Just additional problems. Posting every day. They might have tried posting every day, but it sucked because they were glued to their phone. And then they tried scheduling it using those scheduler things. Like, how the hell are you going to schedule out a whole month's worth of content? That's horrible. And then you run out of things to say. And at the end of the day, you might not even get anywhere from it. Or maybe they tried doing stuff to get a lot of followers and maybe even bought followers, but it didn't move the needle. They didn't get any sales from it. It just felt dumb. Some of the dumb things people do to try to get followers, like doing dumb little dances and shit like that. Maybe you tried posting selfies and, you feel dumb doing it. It takes forever and you kind of feel awkward and it didn't work. So notice I'm just getting it out of my head. All the stuff they might have tried. Maybe they tried posting motivational stuff. It felt silly. It was time consuming, and maybe they tried running ads and they spent a bunch of money and they didn't get results. So all we're doing is we're listing out the stuff they've tried before. And the reason why is we got to position your stuff is different from what they've tried before. In some aspect, there's got to be a component of your thing that is different and better, right? So what we want to do is we want to provide people with the missing link. That's it. And like maybe you're selling socks or something. It's kind of hard to come up with a missing link for socks. So maybe there isn't one. So if you're selling something like socks, you might not even have to do this. You might be able to be like, man, we got these socks and you're going to love them. And here's the offer, but for most people, you have to put it in the work here. All right. So now that we've got the list, so imagine you've made the list. You spent 5 whole minutes brainstorming all that stuff out. All right, hang on. Okay. Excuse me. There we go. All right. So now that you got that list, you want to say, when you're recording, you want to say, I've tried all kinds of stuff. And then you want to ad lib on your list, right? So I'm just going to pretend now that I'm recording. So let me get all this stuff out. Okay. Yeah. All right. And I've tried all kinds of stuff. And maybe you've tried some of the things I have. It sure has been frustrating. I heard you were supposed to go live every day. So I tried to do that, but I ran out of stuff to say. And it's really, really embarrassing when you're live on social media and the only person watching is your mom. Every time I did that, I felt really dumb. Plus, it took forever. I also tried making cool videos because a lot of the influencers that I see make really, really nice looking videos. Man, that took a long time. And because I'm not a video expert, I've had to get someone to edit the video for me. And that cost a few bucks. And I really didn't know what to say. And it felt awkward. And after I posted it, nobody really saw it. And I didn't sell anything. So then I heard that you're supposed to post every day. Now notice I'm just like looking at this list and just sort of ad-libbing, right? So then I heard you were supposed to post every day. And well, okay, so I decided to do that, but I started out where I was just glued to my phone constantly. And then I tried to schedule my posts in advance, but it was really hard to schedule everything in advance because I just didn't know what to say. And ultimately, no one was really seeing the stuff I was posting anyway. And I wasn't getting sales. So then I started posting the obligatory selfies and I heard that that kind of thing works. And I just really felt silly doing it. And it was very time consuming. So I also read that maybe if you post a lot of positive messages and motivational stuff, then that'll work and you can start building a brand and getting followers. And I did, and it didn't work. And I really felt silly doing it because I just felt like I was copying everybody else. I'm embarrassed to tell you, but I even bought some followers thinking that maybe that would move the needle, thinking that maybe if people saw that I had a lot of followers, that they would pay attention to what I was saying, but nothing happened. And I was just out of pocket and I feel kind of silly for doing it. Then I tried running ads and I spent a lot of money and I didn't sell anything. So, all right. So like I'm stopping right there. right? But I'm just looking at this stuff and just ad-libbing, and if you mess up, you just say, oh shit, I messed up, starting over, and then pick up where you left off, because we ain't keeping this recording. It's going in the garbage. We're going to transcribe it, and we're going to cut out all the dumb shit, and then we're going to read the good stuff, and we're going to screw up the good part too, but we're going to cut the dumb stuff out of the good part, and we're going to be left with good stuff. All righty. So when you're done, you want to drive home the single biggest pain points. In this case, I would end like that whole rant with like, I have to do it to be able to illustrate it. So I tried posting motivational stuff, and I even ran ads, and I spent a bunch of money. And at the end of the day, after doing all of those things, spending all of the money and taking all that time and feeling embarrassed, all I did was waste a bunch of time and waste a bunch of money and end up looking and feeling silly. And I didn't even get sales or build a following. It was extremely frustrating, right? So we just want to say that, right? And I forgot to put that bullet point there, so it makes it it makes more sense when you see it in the slide, right? So after all that, I still wasn't getting sales. I still didn't have a following. I still didn't have an email list, and I'd spent a bunch of money, spent a bunch of time, and kind of felt dumb and kind of looked dumb to my friends, whatever it may be, right? This is where you just want to say that stuff. And remember, don't worry about saying it perfect like. Ain't gonna happen unless you're magic, okay? So now what we want to do, remember earlier, I was like, hey, there's a real reason their stuff isn't working, all right? And it's typically not what they think. And in this case, I don't want to get ahead of myself because I think I wrote it all out in the slides. All right. So our step number 5 is we want to uncover, reveal, discover the real reason for all of the shared pain that you and your prospect have gone through. Okay. So first thing is you got to know what the real reason for the common pain is. So in this case, it's 2 things. All right. Number 1, people are focused on followers and stuff. All right. And followers are pointless. It's all about engagement. If people engage with you, Facebook and Instagram are going to show your stuff to more and more people, even if those people don't follow you. And Google it if you want to, but organic reach from your followers is nothing on either of those platforms. To really prove the point, I have a bigger audience of people who have engaged with my stuff than I do followers from Facebook and Instagram combined. All right. Followers are freaking pointless. So number 1, the real problem is that when you're trying to get followers, it doesn't do anything. It is pointless. It's like, I can't think of a metaphor at the moment, but it is stupid. Thing number 2, and this is really, really a big problem, ain't nobody got their offer dialed in. So you could make a zillion posts and they could go to your website a billion times, but the offer sucks. It's not done right. That's why we're taking so much time right now, is to make sure we fix that. I don't want you to go through this. Got a bunch of people going to see your stuff and nobody buys. That would be very disappointing. So that's a huge part of the problem, right? So you got to know the real reason, right? So like, as I've been yipping and yapping, just sort of jot down real problem. That'll make it easier when you go through these slides. You can just sort of fill in the blanks faster, or you might not even have to. Maybe you can just read it based off of your notes you've already written, Okay. So now that you know what the real reasons are, you want to tell the story of how you discovered them. And it could be just one reason, by the way. So I don't want you to think you have to list like 10 reasons why they have this problem. And it can be just one. It's fine. It might even be for the better if it's just one, So what you want to do is outline the story, like just bullet point, and then ad lib it when it's time to record. So in this case, I'm going to focus on the real problem is that they're not getting engagement. All right. That's the real source of the problem, is they're not saying the right shit, and they're not getting engagement, and they're wasting their time trying to get followers and all of that kind of stuff. And so with that said, I can just outline how I discovered this, right? So I thought that surely there was something that worked because other people are making it work. So surely something's got to work. I dug through every single post, and I discovered something amazing. Now, remember, I just told them my tale of woe, right? I tried all this kind of shit. Okay. But then I discovered the real reason it didn't work. Okay. 95% of my posts didn't work, but 5% worked like crazy. I analyzed the ones that didn't work, and I found that they all had one thing in common. They talked about me. Turns out that unless we're already famous or something, people ignore posts that are about us. Then if people ignore your posts, that means they're not engaging with them. After doing tons of research, I discovered the real root of the problem is something called engagement. Here's the deal. Facebook loves engagement. That's when people reply, like, save, watch, read, or click on your posts. If people start doing that, Facebook and Instagram will show your stuff to strangers for free. All right. Now, that's an outline, right? That's not good copy right there. It's okay, but now I've got something that I could read and I could ad lib. And before I record, even I could maybe pull up some actual data from Facebook about how engagement works and talk about that, or talk about why they don't share some of your posts if I chose to, right? So again, we're not writing copy here. We're outlining the story so we can ad lib. Okay. So if they don't engage, you're going to be ignored, which is true, by the way. That's all three posts that you're going to learn about here. They're all designed to get engagement. And it's like this crazy circle of virtue. It's awesome. All right. So what you want to do now is that you've kind of outlined your story, is you just want to tell it. Okay. So we're still in step 5. So we kind of got it out of your head and we got it in a little outline form. So now we want to get it usable. All right. So we're just talking about the real reason for the pain here. We're not talking about the product. We're not talking about the solution. We're sharing insights with them, which is hopefully going to cause them to be like, oh, damn, no wonder. Okay, that makes sense, right? That's all we're trying to do, because we want them to become intrigued, right? Otherwise, if we don't have a real reason for the pain, then yeah, you tried everything, it didn't work. You're fucked. Right? We can't, that's no good. We got to have a real reason for the pain. And it's true. Incidentally, the posts are stupid. They're not engaging. No one wants to see what we had for breakfast. All right. So begin your story of how you discovered this with an intro statement like any of these. You don't have to use all of these. Any of these types of statements will work. Hang on. Not a big talker. Don't talk much, lose my voice a lot. Okay. I knew there had to be a way to make this work, so begin story. Or I had to make this work, so begin story. I knew that something has to work because after all, other people are getting results, so begin story. But Frank, what if I don't have a story? What if I work with dentists and I'm talking about their stories or whatever? That's fine. The clients that I've worked with all had that one thing in common, and they all had a similar journey. And typically it went like this story of how the clients ended up having the discovery of the common yet unknown source of pain, right? The real source of pain. Doesn't have to be you. Don't make stuff up. And if we're selling socks or whatever, you don't necessarily have to do this. But most of you are only selling socks, Okay. Now you want to ad lib your story based on the previous slide. So I'll paste it here below for reference, So I'm going to say, I'm going to start with the third one, and I'll kind of I'll ad lib this for you. I'll start with that third statement, and then we'll do it. All right, here we go. Man, I knew that something had to work because after all, other people are clearly making tons of money from social media. So I don't want to be redundant because that first bullet point is redundant. I'll skip to the next one. So I dug through every post I ever made, and I discovered something that was pretty amazing. Yeah, 95% of the posts didn't work, but 5% worked like crazy, which was really encouraging. But most of them didn't work. So the first thing I did was I analyzed all of the posts that didn't work, and I found out that they had one single thing in common. All of the posts talked about me. It turns out that unless we're already famous or something, people ignore posts that are about us. All right. Now, this is where I could ad lib right here. I could be like, And if you think about it, it makes total sense. I mean, after all, the only reason, start again. I mean, after all, the only reason that you're even paying attention to this message is because you're hoping that it will help you. You're hoping that it will help you solve a problem that you have. It turns out that everybody in the world actually really only cares about themselves, and more importantly, what they want and how they get it. However, 95% of my posts were all about me, and nobody really cared. I don't take it personally. That's just human nature. But because nobody cared, everybody ignored the posts. And that means they weren't engaging with the posts. And engagement means they weren't reading them. They weren't clicking on them. They weren't commenting on them. They weren't hitting the like button. They were doing nothing. And after I did a ton of research, I discovered the real root of the problem. And that's the starting over. And after doing tons of research, I discovered the real root of the problem. The real root of the problem is that people weren't engaging. You see, when somebody clicks on your post or likes it or makes a comment on it, Facebook loves that, because the more they do that, the longer they spend using Facebook. And when that happens, they end up showing your posts to more and more strangers for free. But if nobody does that, you're going to be ignored. Okay, so that was me like just ad-libbing that stuff, messing it up, saying, like giving a little pause, saying starting over, and then going again. All right. So was it perfect? No, dude, it wasn't perfect. But who gives a damn? Like, because I can brush it up, and actually, it's kind of usable, really. Not too shabby, right? All true. So very, very good. So now we got that story part, all right, cool. We got that out of the way. Great. We're damn near done with this sucker. Okay. This is the hardest part of the whole offer stuff of this, by the way. So now the next step is how the solution is different and how you discovered it. Right. So first we got to identify a unique solution to their problem. Like, how is your product different, or how is your service different? What's it going to do that's different for them? Like, and even it could be weird stuff. Like, I wear these shoes. These shoes are called Allbirds. All right. And I've had this pair for like 3 years, and they're not particularly durable shoes. I don't wear shoes very much. My feet are cold today, so I got shoes on. But I love this brand, and there's really nothing unique about them other than they're super lightweight, and they're not hot, and they generally, for whatever freaking reason, don't smell bad when you wear them without socks for a long time, which is kind of weird. I don't know how they do that. So that in and of itself, even something as mundane as a pair of shoes, is like, this is solving a problem. I don't like to wear shoes. My feet get hot. They sweat. And this is all true, by the way. I guess I'm weird. I don't like to deal with shoelaces. It's a pain in the ass. Shoes are uncomfortable for me. I've been barefoot for years. I lived at the beach. I surfed every day and only wearing freaking shoes. Allbirds, holy shit. You don't have to lace them up. You slip them right on. You don't need to wear socks. Your feet don't sweat in them, and they don't stink. Damnedest thing you ever saw. All right. That's the unique solution. That's what makes Allbirds different to me. Now, I don't know if that would work in an Allbirds campaign. Who knows? They are good shoes, though, fellas. If they're even ladies, too. Like the slip-on ones are pretty good. So a bit of a ramble there, but find a unique solution to your problem. Okay. So in this case, the solution and the problem are the same. The problem is the lack of engagement. The solution is to get engagement. And specifically what makes ours unique here is that there are 3 types of posts that get engagement, as well as getting people to comment and ask for information on how you can solve their problem. So that's our unique angle, is we're going to get engagement. This is different because these posts, you're getting a framework that is designed to get engagement, and it's designed to get people to ask you to help them. All right. And to ask you to tell them about your stuff, which ain't nothing else that they've studied doing that. Right. So that's our unique solution. Okay. So now that we know the real solution, it's the same thing, which we just want to tell the story of how you discovered it. We're not talking about the product yet. We're just talking about the solution, right? So again, outline the story, ad lib it when it's time to record, right? Like this. Man, realized 5% of my posts took off like crazy. Got a ton of views, tons of clicks, some likes, some comments. That was weird. So I noticed they all had certain things in common. They followed a pattern. So I started making more posts like the ones that worked, and things took off. The more of these posts I made, the more my following grew and the more sales I got. And the reason it worked is because each post got engagement. It's like a circle. The more engagement you get, the more people they show your stuff to. If you keep making posts that get engagement, you get more and more exposure. And then maybe I would explain how engagement works and pull up some stats or articles, and maybe not. I don't really know if it's necessary. Maybe I would just show some of my results like that. But the solution is posts that get engagement, not followers, not fans, engagement. That's the magic. It's engagement, right? So the problem was engagement. The solution also happens to be engagement, specifically what you say in the posts. Okay. So all we're going to do is the same thing we did in step number 5, right? So if you're, as you're doing this, just kind of write down, just jot down, outline your story. It could literally be, analyze posts, notice that they, the ones that worked had things in common, did more of what worked, kept working, got more engagement, right? You don't have to go all out, because what you do is when it's time to record, you begin an intro, like, any of these. What happened next changed my life forever. Or if you're selling, business stuff, what happened next changed my business forever. If we're selling, blood pressure pills, what happened next changed my health forever. Or an alternate introductory statement. Once I realized what the real problem was, it was time to find the solution. That's applicable to anything, or it was great to finally uncover the real problem, but how do we solve it? Okay. And now we just ad lib the story based on the outline we did in the previous slide. All right. So I'm not going to make you watch me do that. I think you get the point on how to ad lib. So here's our outline again. I've noticed I'm keeping you all for a while here. I don't want to lose you. Okay. So we do all of our stuff there, and we're good to go after a while. So our next step is we just want to reveal what we got. Right. So think about this. At this point, your prospect should be very intrigued. Like, you've shown you've got common ground. You've shown what the real problem is. You've demonstrated you've done the same stuff they've done, and you've acknowledged the stuff you tried didn't work, and you've shown the real solution. And if you can demonstrate results, you backed it with results, right? Like, here's what happened. Like, that's the way I like to sell stuff. I'll try something and I'll show you how it works. I'll be like, hey, you want me to help you do this? Pretty simple. Okay. So naturally, the prospect should be interested at this point. Doesn't mean they're sold. Okay, we can't be lazy, but they should be interested. So now it's time to just introduce your product or service, because the product or service is in the offer. This is the thing that delivers the solution, right? So we said, all right, here's the solution, and the way to get the solution is from the product. All right, this is very, very important. So we need some transition language. All right, that allows us to introduce the product. So in this one little phase, we're going to let them know that they can get this real solution right now. And we'll talk the solution up in a minute, okay, with the benefits part. But for the sake of this one, we're just saying, hey, here's a product, right? And we kind of have to do that before we start talking about how cool the product is. So here's some intro statement examples. After a while, I started sharing this with my friends. They started getting results too. So I decided to document exactly how anyone can finally get the big result by using the same methods that are working for me. And that's how product name was created. Okay, so that's statement number 1. Statement number 2 is, so you've just told your story of discovery, right? And like, hey, everything's cool now. Check this out, right? And so now you can say, and if you'd like me to guide you through exactly how to do this, I'd be happy to. I've created a special core system product formula, whatever, called product. So like, this is applicable. It doesn't have to be about information. So we're selling blood pressure medication. If you'd like me to guide you through exactly how to do this, I'd be happy to. I've created a special formulation of health supplement called super low blood pressure system. And it will help you dramatically lower your blood pressure, right? So like that wasn't particularly good, but it doesn't matter. You just get it out of your head. We can fix it later, okay? And if you'd finally like to get consistently lowered blood pressure without having to take all those medications, I think you're absolutely going to love my personal supplement called Super Blood Pressure Reducer 2000. I don't really know much about health supplements, but you get it, right? Like simple, not rocket surgery here. We're just like whatever phrase you want, to use, however languaging you want to use it. We just got to go from story to I got a thing. That's all. Okay. So here's some examples of where I'm filling in the blanks for you. All right. After a while, I started sharing this with my friends. They started getting results too. So I decided to document exactly how anyone could finally create a successful brand and get customers from social media just by using the same methods that are working for me. And that's how social sales formula was created. Still hard for me to say that the name of the product. And here's another one. And if you'd like me to guide you through exactly how to do this, I'd be happy to. I've created a special training called Social Sales Formula, and I think you'll love it. The end, right? We talk about how cool it is in the next section. And if you'd finally like to get rid of the pain that's caused by chronic inflammation, I think you'll absolutely love a new supplement called Cellular CBD. I made that name up. If there is an actual product called Cellular CBD on the market, it is coincidental. All right. I'm sure it's lovely. Okay. So that was easy. I mean, that's literally a sentence. We just need to introduce the product. So now we can talk about how cool the product is. That's the benefits part. All right. So there we go. Now we just want to list all the benefits of your product. So like these aren't bullets. I'm not asking you to make a million bullet points or anything like that. This is literally you're just brainstorming all the ways that your product or your offer fulfills the promise. And incidentally, like let's say your offer is a strategy session and you're not actually selling anything. It doesn't matter, right? On this strategy session, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a customized blueprint on how to go from A to B. You're going to get a clear understanding of exactly what you need to do first. You're going to get blah, 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 right? It doesn't have to be a thing. Okay. It could be an appointment. Doesn't matter. All right. So here I'll give you some examples. One of the things I like to do when I'm reading this stuff is two things. I like to add "so you can" statements after each benefit to make them sound cooler. Or when you're reading it back, I like to try beginning some of the following statements by stating a problem your prospect has and then state the benefit of it as a solution. So I'll demonstrate that in a minute. All right. Like the magic comes when you're ad-libbing, not necessarily when you're writing the stuff down. Okay. So for examples of both of those things, see the red text below. So for example, here's one of the benefits, right? You get simple frameworks for your social media posts, right? So if I wanted to elaborate on that, you get simple frameworks so you'll know exactly what to say in every post. I could even ad lib on that in a minute. In fact, I'll ad lib some of these in a sec. All right, here's another one. So the benefit is there are only 3 types of posts you ever need to make, and you only need to make 1 per day max of each one. All right, so I can begin that. Oh, I bet y'all can't see my mouse. Of course, it doesn't want to let me get out of there. Okay. I think you can probably see my mouse now. All right. So notice I said earlier, try beginning some benefit statements by stating a problem your prospect has and then state the benefit as a solution. So the problem, is like they don't want to be making posts constantly. They don't want to be glued to their phone. Well, the benefit here. All right. Now let me get back to this. Those are real sound effects. I wasn't doing that with my mouth. Okay. So like the benefit is there's only 3 types of posts, but I'm beginning that with like, Lots of people who appear to have big brands seem like they're constantly taking selfies and making posts 24/7. The good news is you don't have to do that. There's only 3 types of posts you ever need to make, and you only need to make one of each per day max. So you see how I kind of added that problem before the benefit to explain how the benefit solves a problem. Here's another example. Quickly create posts that will make prospects like and trust you, and then ask you for information about what you sell. Turn complete strangers into leads and sales using a 2-step process. Than that is what it's supposed to say. But again, imperfection is fine here, right? Like we edit out the dumb stuff that even a teenager with no experience can use. Create an offer that's easy to say yes to, and have that offer online in a single day without having to write a word of sales copy. Boom. Today's the day, baby. All right. I'm stoked for you. Have hundreds of people join your audience in less than 24 hours for pennies. Now, look, like you're brainstorming here, okay, as it says on the slide. So just crank out as many of these benefits as you can. Even if they're ridiculous, you're going to read them and you're going to riff on them and ad lib all kinds of stuff. And lots of it will be dumb and you might not use it. And that's normal. It doesn't matter. We just don't want to get it out of your head and into a workable thing that we can turn into something as quickly as possible, like today. All right. So I'll ad lib it for you. All right. So let's go. We'll start here. What slide am I on? This one. Okay. All righty. I will. Let's see here. And if you'd like it, starting over, notice you do the little pause thing. It's simple. So when I go to edit the transcripts, I just do a search for the word starting over. And then I'm like, oh, I messed up there. And then I can focus there, you know. And if you'd like me to guide you through exactly how to do this, I'd be happy to. I've created a special training called Social Sales Formula, and I think you'll love it. I forgot to tell you this part of the thing, this slide here. You want to have like transitional statements there. So here they are. Here's exactly how this helps you. Here's what you're going to discover or learn. All right. So I'll do that for you. Here's exactly what you're going to discover during this course. For one thing, you're going to get simple frameworks so that you'll know exactly what to say in every post. And what's even better is you're soon going to realize that you don't have to make a lot of posts. See, lots of people who appear to have big brands seem like they're constantly taking selfies and making posts 24/7. The good news is you don't have to do that. There are only 3 types of posts you ever need to make, and you only need to make one of each per day max. And like I said, you're getting these simple frameworks so you'll know exactly what to say in every post every single time. So you never feel like you don't know what to say and you never feel overwhelmed again. Notice I'm just like riffing. I'm just sort of improvising, right? I might cut that stuff out. I don't know. I'm just kind of going, just kind of getting wild. You'll also discover how to quickly create posts that will make prospects like you and trust you. And you'll learn exactly what to say that causes the people who see your post to literally ask you for information about what you sell. Seriously, you will have complete strangers asking you to sell them on your products and services. I know it sounds strange, but as soon as you put the system to work, you will see results in as little as one day. You're going to discover how you can quickly and easily turn complete strangers into leads and sales by using a simple 2-step process that even a teenager with no experience can use. I know that a teenager with no experience can use this because over the holidays, I hired my 19-year-old daughter to help me with my social media, and she was able to use this exact system to get 60 brand new customers. And she had never done anything like this in her life. You're also, okay, so I'm not going to go on forever, but you see, and incidentally, I'm reading that slowly because my brain like I'm trying to improvise and talk and read at the same time. But when you read it slowly like that, it's also really makes it so the transcription thingy works really, really well. And I found that even using a tone that's really simple like this in a video sales letter actually freaking works really, really well. Who would have guessed? Seriously, it does. I don't know why, but I don't care why. It works. Like, okay, fine. So, all right. So that's that particular step. So the next thing we want to do is explain how it works. Now, this is easy if you don't let your brain trick you into making it hard. So here's what this really means. This is really about how they use the product itself, like what their experience will be like, how the product itself fulfills on the promise. So we just told them the benefits. You're going to learn this, this, and this, and this. So now what we want to do is just tell them, like, okay, how exactly am I going to learn this? All right. So in some cases, this section can be really, really short. And in some cases, it can be long. So if we're selling a health supplement, how it works is going to be really, really short, like this. Now, keep in mind, I know nothing about health supplements. I'm making all this up. Here's how it works. You take one pill in the morning and then another one before you go to bed. You can take it with or without food. And if you forget to take it one day, that's okay. Just take a little extra the next day. After about 4 days, you'll notice you have fewer aches and pains. Then by the second week, you should feel like you're 16 again. Just making that up. But it's not like the next example where you're selling a course. So if we're selling a course, usually courses are broken down into stages, and typically we've got a big picture. So let me back up a little bit. Courses typically have like modules, chapters, or like this, we have day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. So you kind of have 2 stages and something like that. You have the big picture. So for example, this class specifically, this is a 3-day virtual workshop where I show you exactly how to build your brand and get customers using super simple social media posts, right? So that's that statement right there. That's the big picture. So now what you want to do is you want to break down, all right, the components, excuse me, of that big picture, all right? So each day I show you exactly what to do and give you follow-along templates and frameworks that make it really easy. So now our second stage of this is the breakdown. This is how you break down each part of the big picture. So in this case, the big picture is it's a 3-day event. All right. I'm going to show you cool shit every day. So now that's stage 1. Of course, we want to say it better than that, In stage 2, here's what you're going to learn on each day, right? So you want to use the same type of language you did in the benefits section. So on the first day, we're going to make sure you get paid. I'm going to give you 6 ways to present your product or service so that's irresistible. I actually have that for you, but I'm just going to give it to you in the slides because I don't want to take forever and I don't want you to get bored. This is more important. Then I'll show you exactly what to say so people are most likely to say yes. Now, when you riff on it, right? So like this is me just breaking down what we're doing today, right? So if I were to use this framework for the pitch for this class, I would be using this. Right. So when you riff on it, you might want to elaborate a little bit, when you're recording it. So on the first day, you'll discover the simple fill in the blanks frameworks for making an offer that's so simple, you'll have an offer that's easy to say yes to, perfectly crafted and ready for your prospects to see, all done on the very first day without having to write any sales copy and without having to stare at a blank screen. All right. So that's me like making it sound cooler, and when you're reading it back, like if you mess it up, then fix it, but the magic really happens in your second take of this after you add all the stupid parts or take all the stupid parts out. Okay. So if you're selling a course that's got several modules, you do it for each module. In module 1, we're going to do this. In module 2, we're going to do this. You get it. Right. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to build the value of this thing. So if you think psychologically what's happened, we've got their attention. If you want this thing, read this. You're going to discover this cool thing. All right. Then we established a common bond. We are similar. We have faced similar problems. I have discovered the true root of the problem, and I've shared the true root of this problem with you. I have also discovered the solution. I've shared the solution with you and demonstrated that the solution is real. And I presented a product to you. And I've demonstrated exactly how this product is going to help you in the benefits section and how it works, how you're going to achieve those benefits in the how it works section. So now it's very logical for them to be going, oh, how much does the damn thing cost? And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't do a value build here. We got to talk it up a little bit. So usually you want to begin this segment with something like similar products usually cost, $1 billion, right? Like similar products usually cost $19.97. And if you really want to get fancy and you're riffing on it for the transcription, you might even say, I've seen ads for similar products and they cost between $9.97 and $19.97. Typically what I do is I just write down similar $19.97 and then I'll just ramble, when I'm getting my first draft recording done. All right. Then you choose any or all of these value building tracks. So these are what's called word tracks to demonstrate the value of something. Track number 1 is where you break down each component, right? So like if you're selling a course, you talk about the value of each thing they're learning in the course like this. So if one component is that they're going to walk away with a solid offer that's done, you want to state the value of that, right? And so an example way of saying that might be on the first day, you're getting a simple fill in the blanks template that lets you have a ready to go offer that's easy to say yes to and have it done and ready on the first day. It's hard to put a price on something like that. But if you were to hire a professional copywriter, you'd pay anywhere from $2,000 to $100,000. And there's no guarantee that it would work. I've looked around and there are courses that teach you how to do it and they're good, but they're usually $997 at least. So I'm just taking that one little thing of like getting a freaking offer done. And I'm putting a value on that, right? And so I would want to do that for every single thing, that's in the course. So I'm not going to like make you watch me do it because I think you'll kill me. But surely you want to watch me do that because you kind of get the point, right? Another way to do this is to break down the value of each result. Okay, so one result is that you'll build an engaged audience of people who like you and that you can make offers to them every day. All right. So let's talk about the value of that result when we're doing this. So here's my example of how to do that. On day 2, you'll discover how to quickly build an engaged audience of people who buy from you. Imagine if this audience just bought you one new customer per day, just brought you one new customer per day. What's one customer worth? Only you can answer that. But if one customer usually spends $20 with you and you just get one per day, that's 365 new customers over the course of the year. 365 new customers times $20 per customer is $7,300 over the course of a year. You see, so do as much of this as you want. Get rid of what you don't like, but get it out of your head. That's the thing. Just get it out there and then you don't have to keep it, but we want to get it out there. So relax when you're doing this. No one's going to hear your first version. If you stumble, if it feels weird or what, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to hear it, right? Because we're going to transcribe it and then cut all the dumb stuff out and then read the transcripts with more confidence. Okay. So now that we've built that value, all right, using either of those two approaches, doesn't matter. Now we want to reveal the price. So you start with an opening statement like, with all that said, this could easily be worth $47 trillion. Obviously, I'm joking around there. So an example, with all that said, this could easily be worth $10,000. And then you want to justify that statement with one or more value justification statements like this. So one way to do it is to reference competitor prices. After all, similar products sell for $19.97, and that's just the cost of learning to do the social media posts. You could also do it on the prices of getting the results. So here's an example. And don't forget, you're also walking away, I think is what I meant to say there. You're also walking away with the complete offer that's ready to go on day 1. and offer this easy for your prospects to say yes to. And you don't have to stare at a blank screen or spend all day writing, because you're getting a simple template and learning a simple technique to get this done without writing a word of actual sales copy. If you were to hire someone to do this, it could cost anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. Now, make a lot of these statements. You don't have to use them all, right? We just want to get it out there, so, and then choose what you want to keep. Riff on them, ad lib, have a good time, say dumb stuff. Doesn't matter. No one's going to see it. I'm looking and y'all are, okay, cool. I was looking at the comments, making sure we're good, but I think we are. Okay, so just enjoy it, right? We just want to get it out of your head and into a workable format, okay? So after you've done that, we want to reveal the price by saying something really crazy like this, but you can have it today for price. And obviously the price needs to be lower than the value, right? Classic. It's marketing 101. It's only been done since like before I was born, and you and our grandparents. Did you know that direct response marketing started, it was in 1873 or 17? I think it was 18 something. The Direct Marketing Association was started back then. I forgot. I did some research on it. It's like the stuff we do is hundreds of years old. It's kind of cool. Okay. So step 12, bonuses. Got to have bonuses. Well, you don't have to, but it helps. All right. So now you want to transition into talking about the bonuses by saying, but it gets better, because when you order today, you also get bonus. All right. Now, guess what we're going to do? Here's the example. All right. So you kind of get the example parts already. We want to use, once we state what that bonus is, we want to do the same thing we did. It wasn't step 3. I messed up the numbers here, but we want to add the benefits of the bonus. So just like we did here. Okay. Where are we? Oh my Lord. Let's see. Product reveal, step 8, not step 3. You know what old Frankie's going to do here? El Gordo is what they call me. Got the value build, got the price, got the bonuses. I'm going to fix this right here. What was that? Step 8. Here we go. So we want to do the same language style that we used here over here to discuss the bonuses. Where are you? There we are. All right. So I'll give you some examples. So if the bonus, which I don't know if y'all know this, but you can get like chat in your members area here. Like the team's just ready to help you, which is awesome. I didn't make a big deal out of that when selling this, but you got it. So if I was to make a big deal out of that, which I should, I could say, hey, but it gets better. This is my announcement of bonus. If you look where it says example, the first one, right, second bullet point on the screen. But it gets better because when you order today, you also get one-on-one support from my team via chat messenger. All right. And then I would list the benefit of that. That means you don't have to guess what to do. You actually get one-on-one help from an expert. Simple. I'm just listing that benefit of it. And I could go on, right? So let's see how many I got. Okay. All businesses are different. So you can get help applying these strategies for your specific circumstance. Think of this as tailor-made consulting exactly to suit your current situation and your business model and your marketing message. And I can just riff on that as much as I want to. So you want to list as many benefits of the bonus as you can, just like you would do for the thing you're selling, because we want to try as hard as we can to get the sale, and then we want to build up the value of the bonuses. Now, again, I got my dang steps wrong here, but remember how we just did the value build for the actual product? You want to do a value build for the bonus too. Okay. It's not hard. Other programs with one-on-one help sell all the time for $10,000. It's true. If you were to hire a consultant, it would easily cost at least $3,000 a month. That's true. But now, after you've done all of that, you want to end that little bonus section. This one bonus is easily worth $10,000, but you can have it free when you act now. Right. And so just whatever the real value is, put the value is, I'm just sort of ad-libbing here for you. So you'll have an example of how to do it. So now what we've done is we've built all of this stuff up, built the value, gave the price, which is lower than the value. Surprise them. Holy shit. I'm also getting these bonuses that are very, very valuable, but they're free. Of course, we still got to keep selling. So we want to go crazy and give a guarantee. You kind of have to have a guarantee. I think all states, I don't know this for sure, California, you've got to do it. So you might as well have one. So usually say something like, and of course you're protected by our guarantee, and then state the guarantee. But Frank, what if I'm just offering a strategy session? What do I do then? You don't. You skip step 13, or you assuage their fears. I think I'm using assuage, whatever. You calm their fears down by saying, and by the way, I absolutely guarantee that you will get value from your strategy session with me, and you won't find it to be a waste of time. And I'm not going to try to do some hard, high pressure sales pitch on you. You can always make your thing fit to this template, but let's say again, like going forward. And of course you're protected by our guarantee, and then you state your guarantee. So that's literally what to say. So, and of course you're protected by our guarantee. Use everything you learn for 30 days. Truly put it to the test. If you don't think it was the best investment you've ever made, I'll immediately refund your money. No questions asked. Let's say we're selling the blood pressure pills. I don't know why I'm choosing blood pressure pills today. And of course, you're protected by our guarantee. And of course, you're protected by our guarantee. Take the entire bottle. Use this incredible supplement to lower your blood pressure for a full month. Truly put it to the test. At the end of that month, if you don't see a remarkable difference in your blood pressure, and if you don't feel better, simply send back your empty bottle, and I'll return every dollar that you paid, even shipping. Whatever, like guarantee's guarantee, right? So now we want to have ourselves some scarcity, all right? So you don't have to have scarcity. Works better if you do. Almost done, by the way, okay? So scarcity works. False scarcity is bad. Don't be one of those assholes that it's expiring now and then it never expires. The timer always restarts or something. Like use Deadline Funnel and stuff like that. It's a good software program. They don't pay me to endorse them. It is good. I wish I'd have built it. So almost anyone can use scarcity legitimately if you're creative. So free shipping's going away, right? So that'll work. If they don't buy and they come back later, they don't get free shipping anymore. So that's simple. Early bird pricing going away. That's what I did with this. The bonuses are going away. Real simple. The offer itself is going away entirely. The discount is going away, which is kind of like early bird pricing. But if it's not an event and you're just selling like a bottle of water, then you can't say early bird pricing for water. But same thing, price is going up, right? So all of these things are not all of them, but many of these are simply a way of saying that the price is going to increase, right? So all of these things are ways you can do this. So choose one of the following scarcity statements at this stage, all right? However, I can only offer this price for the next 4 hours. After that, the price increases by $100. However, I can only offer these bonuses for the next 4 hours. After that, they won't be included. I'm just pulling 4 hours out of the air. However, this offer expires completely in 3 days. After that, it's gone for good. All right. If you're just trying to get appointments and you're like, how do I use scarcity if I'm just trying to get appointments? Say something like this. However, I can't guarantee availability for more than 24 hours. So if you schedule now, you're guaranteed to get an appointment. If you wait, you could miss out, and you've got a timer there. And when the timer expires, it just redirects to another page that could have the exact same messaging, right? Because you're not telling them that it's definitely expiring. You're using the word could. So that's not false scarcity, unless you get booked solid and then you change what your page says. I'm sorry, I'm booked solid. You're on the waiting list, which is a good problem to have. Yeah. All right. So now all this, now we got it. Now it's time to sell them. All right. Now we actually make the pitch. Easy to do, right? It takes way longer. So we've been together now for almost 2 hours. It takes like way longer to teach this than it will for you to actually do it, by the way. So here's how your call to action works. You tell them what to do. You tell them what happens after they do it. You remind them of the bonuses. You remind them of the scarcity. Then you remind them of the guarantee, and then you tell them what to do again. All right. So all of this stuff is in your call to action chunk here of your offer. All right. So tell them what to do. I'm going to like do the bullet point and then give you an example as always. Right. So click the button below and get started today. Tell them what happens after they do it. As soon as you place your order, you'll receive a username and password by email. Or as soon as you place your order, you'll get a confirmation email with your order number and your shipping info. Or as soon as you schedule your appointment, you'll get a confirmation email. You'll also receive 2 reminders before the appointment so you don't have to worry about missing it. Whatever's appropriate. You just want to tell them what happens next. Remind them of the bonuses. And you'll also receive immediate access to the bonuses. Describe them again. All right. Like, let them know. We got to constantly be telling people how cool this is. We are competing with nudity on the internet and social media. We got people that here's their choices. Pay attention to us, look at other people's privates, or argue with strangers or observe drama. All right. Everything else is more interesting than us. We really got to like work here. Okay. So when you order today, you're also going to get the bonuses. I don't know why I put that twice. And then remind them of the scarcity. All right. But remember, and then repeat your scarcity statement. We already kind of broke it down. We're just repeating it again in the call to action. Remind them of the guarantee. And like I said, you're always protected by our guarantee. And then tell them what to do again. So go ahead and order or enroll or book your session, whatever, right now. Okay. And now we're done with the pitch, except we're not, because all this time up until this point, they've been half-ass paying attention to us, right? Like they're worried about the price before we reveal the price. Then when we reveal the price, their brain's going, should I buy this thing or not? So if we leave now, okay, and we stop, we're going to lose sales. If we do this part, we're going to get a whole lot more sales. And it's real easy. We're just going to restate everything in step 1 and step 7 through 15. So for a VSL or webinar, this works great. If you're doing this as a written sales letter, it's the PS part, right? So you basically, like I said, restate everything from step 1. So if you want, and then you repeat step 7 through 15, and you can do a shorter version of it. All right. So 7 through 15, we're leaving out the story and stuff. You know, we're just like, here's the thing, here's the benefits and all of that. Okay. So let me kind of walk you through it, but I won't take too long. So we restate step 1. So we just told them, like, click here and order now. You know, we made our pitch. So now it's time to restate everything. So remember, if you want, and then all the desires from step 1, then you're absolutely going to love insert product name. That's what we did in step 7. And here's exactly how that's going to help you. State the benefits that you did. And the way it helps you is simple. State how it works, right? It's a 3-day workshop. On day 1, we do this. On day 2, we do this. Or it's a simple bottle of 30 pills, and you just take 1 every day, right? Like however the actual thing is delivered to them, that's all you say right there. Step 10, this could easily sell for X amount of dollars. Redo your value build right there. But you can have it today for price. And when you order today, you're also getting these bonuses. And these bonuses are going to help you in this way, this way, and this way. And the bonuses alone are worth this amount of money. And don't forget, you're also protected by our guarantee. Restate the guarantee. But remember, you better order today or it's the end of the world. And then you literally redo the entire call to action. So everything we just did from step 15, you just do it again. You're just repeating the whole damn thing because now they're paying attention. Right? Like the whole time you were talking to them, they were like kind of paying attention. Now they're paying attention. So this is where you want to make sure you're very explicit in exactly what to do and exactly how it's going to help them and exactly why they need to order now, exactly what the bonuses are, exactly what the value is, exactly what's going to happen next, and exactly what's at stake here if they don't act now. It's not hard because you've already done it. You're just restating everything you already said. All right. So now what you want to do is read this stuff out loud into anything that can record your voice, you know, and just ad lib it like I've said a million times. Don't worry if it sounds good. Don't worry if your dog barks in the background. It doesn't matter. When you mess up, do exactly like what I did in this video is pause for a few seconds and pick up where you left off. All right. So what I want to do for you now is, are y'all still with me? This is amazing if you guys are. I like was worried. It's like, oh man, what if I don't have enough material for them today? But here we are, almost 2 hours in, you poor people. So what I'm going to do for you now, all right, is first, I'll stop sharing, is I'm going to show you how to do this, okay? And the way I'm going to do it is I've recorded a video of me doing this. Okay, I recorded a video of me like reading stuff, ad-libbing stuff, and then turning it into a video sales letter. So this part is 20 minutes, what you're about to see, but you need to see this. All right. Of course, you're getting a copy of all this. All this is being recorded. You're going to get the slides and everything. It's all going to be in your inbox. Now, when this is done, not in your inbox, in your members area. Sorry. I talk so much that my brain quits working. All right. But I want to walk you through this from this video. So I'm not the best Zoomer. All right, so I'm going to try to share this screen, okay? And let's see here. Okay, no, that's not it. All right, share screen, optimize for video clip, QuickTime Player. All right, it should share. I'm going to like play it for a second, and then I'm going to ask you if you can hear it, okay? So please tell me, because I don't think I've ever shared a video over Zoom before. Okay, so here we go. Going full screen. Gonna press play. This is unbelievable how easy this is. All right, so I'm on this website, and you should probably be able. Can you all hear that? That's amazing. Okay. See my screen. All right. So it's called Veed.io. Okay. And so I know that I'm like down here in the corner, and the video quality might not be great, but that's beside the point. I just want to show you how easy it is to actually like produce stuff if you just want to get the dang stuff done. All right. So here's what I did. I went to Veed.io's website. Okay. And so hopefully it's allowed me to change tabs here. And so this thing does all kinds of cool stuff. You know, you can edit videos in here and like do it all online, subtitles and transcription, which is a really, really big deal if you don't want to be on camera. I just clicked on screen recorder, okay, and I got taken to this thing, and I was able to just click on a button, launch this screen recorder, and here we go. So what's really awesome is, this is honestly the way I like to do videos, but I just don't use Veed. I use ScreenFlow, which is a different application that like costs more money, but it's equally as cool and everything. Just kind of showing you like just an immediate solution here is we can come over here to our YouTube ad script. All right. And, you know, you could literally just talk. And like, we could either like, you know, use the direct to camera footage if we wanted to, or we could not, and we could change it in editing because we can have it transcribed by Veed, and we could do other cool stuff. But we could literally, at this stage, let's just, you know, mess around, and I could be like, okay, for the first 5 seconds, I got a hook. So what I want to do is I'm going to be like, hey everybody, Frank Kern here, and in this video, you're going to learn 3 simple ways to double any business. Great. Okay, so I feel like that was pretty good, right? And so I'm not like editing anything in or whatever. And now I'm going to do the attract and repel part. All right. And so like you could pause and like, okay, what am I going to say here? All right. So let's just give this a whirl. And I'll tell you right now, out of respect for your time, this video is really, really helpful if you already have a business online and you're already selling stuff. Maybe you're running ads, maybe you're doing pretty good and the business has hit a little bit of a ceiling. But if you don't have a business and you're looking to start one, you're probably not going to like this video at all. It's really not going to be helpful to you. But if you have a business and you want to double it, watch this video because I'm going to show you 3 simple steps to literally doubling any business. Okay, I think that was probably pretty good. So now what do we talk about? Okay, so like, you know, we could just literally continue down that path, right? And we could fumble and we like, you know what? I don't know if I like that attract and repel part. Let me do it again. Haven't stopped the video. Okay, I'm just over here brainstorming. All right, so let's do it again. And this business is okay, probably don't want to keep that in there. All right. So no need to stop, start, get flustered. Like, all right, damn it, let's try that again. And listen, this video was only going to be entertaining and good for you if you actually already have a business that sells things. So if you're running ads to sell your products, or if you've hit a revenue area and you're just like sort of hit a ceiling and you're feeling stuck, you're going to love this. This is not about how to start a business. So if you don't have a business, you're probably going to think this is boring. But if you do have a business and you want to double it, keep watching, because I'm about to show you 3 ways you could literally double any business. Okay, maybe that one was better. We'll see. Right. And then we could literally kind of come in and like mess around and do the rest of it here. But let's just sort of check out how this thing works. All right. So I'll hit stop here. Okay. All right. So I recorded that little screen flow part of it, or a little screen cam part of it, using the Veed, veed.io, using their little browser-based screen recorder thingy. So now I'm recording this for you using ScreenFlow, which is like, a fancier app you can get on your Mac, and it's pretty cheap, incidentally. So what we have now, like when you hit stop on the recorder for this Veed thingy, all right, this is what you see. So now we can edit this, and I want to show you like how to take screw ups and all of that and chop them out and end up with something usable. And with any luck, we'll also end up having the beginnings anyway, and there's no point in me making you watch the entire process for a whole video, but you'll see how we can actually turn what I've just recorded into a VSL style ad. So here we go. All right. So what we want to do is we want to click over here on edit video. All right. And now we are here, and I don't really know what to do. I guess I'll just click on add project. No idea what this means, by the way. Oh, it wants me to log in. Okay, well, gosh dang it. Hopefully I didn't just lose our magic here. But I never created an account. Oh, okay, so I'm going to click here to create an account for free. So let me hit pause. Okay, sweet. Scared me for a minute because I recorded that little screencast thingy for you using Veed. I keep wanting to call it Veeam for some reason. I did that last night, and then I just assumed it auto-saved, and thankfully it did. So here we are, all right? So we just got this thing. Now, I've never used this thing in my life, okay? But what we want to do is we want to just cut out the dumb stuff where I mess up in this thing, and keep the good stuff and then turn it into something usable. All right. So obviously we couldn't run an ad where it's just me in the corner, like reading little bits off of the framework. Right. So what we want to do here is we want to first start cutting out the bad stuff. All right. So the way you do that is you kind of scroll over here. All right. And let's see how it'll do it for me. Okay, hang on, let me poke around with this so you don't have to watch me figure it out. Okay, so for whatever reason, when I hit play here, like obviously the video has been captured, but it's just like nothing's going on here. And of course I'm not going to read the directions, that would be silly. So what I'm going to do is, my theory here is that I'm screwed up by just letting it sit overnight and not actually doing anything. So I'm going to export this video, and then I'm just going to re-upload it to Veeam again. All right, so in the event this ever happens to you, I mean, like, obviously I've got a video here, okay, so it's working. So we shall, let's see what this preset means. Everything looks fine. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and export it. All righty, and it'll process it, and so we'll let that magic happen. I'll hit pause so you don't have to watch. Okay, so this is interesting. So let's just give this a whirl one more time. I'll just hit edit video. So literally it just like did some processing or whatever. And I could download it and re-upload it, but first I'm just going to try and see what happens if I click edit video, and maybe now it'll actually play back here. We'll see. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so that's super weird, which, dang it, does that mean now I'm in the same boat? Maybe I can hit back and export it. Cool, yeah, all right, so I'm just going to download this thing. All right, cool. So I downloaded it. So here we have it, and we can see that like I captured everything. So yay! So we know that screen recorder works brilliantly, and probably I just screwed it up by not getting it into the Veeam editor on time. So what I'll do is I'll just upload it to the editor as a new project now. Now keep in mind, I have not paid a single dime for this, and B, have never used this in my life. All right, which is fine because you might not have either. So what I'm going to do now is I'm created a new project here, and I'm just going to upload that same video. And oh boy, they want us to upgrade to Pro. Okay, I'll do it. You know what? Let's see. Let's go crazy here. I bet it's pretty cheap. Well, I'm trying to give you money, Veeam. Will you take it or not? Let's try again. Let's see. All right. Well, be that way. Okay. Let's upgrade this sucker. So, how do you do that? Man, you know, it's so much money left on the table and so many businesses right now. Can you believe this? I'm seriously, literally trying to figure out how to give these guys money. All right, well, let me hit pause. We'll do that real quick. All right, you go to account settings right here. All right, there we are. Let me make sure we're recording. Okay, cool. Yep. All right, $38 a month. And so I'll cancel whenever I want to, or maybe I won't cancel because this actually seems like it's awesome. So I'm just going to create a new project and then pick back up where we were, which is to upload this file. Same one that we recorded with their screen recorder thingy. All right, so it's apparently uploading. I'll just give it a minute to do that. And now it works.
This is unbelievable.
All right, so the video actually plays. So I think that issue was likely either A, because I hadn't upgraded, but I'm not quite sure of that, or B, because I just walked away from it and it didn't like save it into any account. It just made it weird. But whatever, who cares? So here's what our mission is, right? Like during this video, I can go scroll over here. I've got probably 30 seconds of decent stuff that we can use. You know, so some of this is me obviously talking about how cool the program is, etc. But we've also got like moderately good stuff in here that we could use. So what I want to do is just cut out all the dumb stuff, keep the good stuff, and then clearly we've got to do something about the background. So what we want to end up with is a finished product with just words on the screen. All right, so hang on a minute. Okay, I found what I was looking for. See this little thing right here? This is your secret weapon when it comes to doing this kind of stuff. It allows you to look at the audio wave files. I know, that sounds super weird. And now this thing, see these little buttons right here? This like lets you expand the size of the video, not like the length or anything, but it expands like how compressed looking, like just graphically in the editor this stuff is. So it allows you to say, come here and pick up right where you start talking. All right, so I can tell by looking at the screen, you know, that I already know this, none of this part is going to be necessary. So I'll shrink this timeline down just so it's easier to navigate. And I'll get to the point where here we are talking about the script. And what I want to do is I just want to find the good parts of this, okay? And I want to keep them. Now, you're likely not going to hear the sound coming out of my computer because I haven't set up ScreenFlow to capture my computer sound. So like kind of bear with me on that one, but you've already got the recording, you know, at the beginning of this video. So what I want to do here is I just want to look and I'll hit play.
Everybody, Frank Kern here.
All right, so notice right there, I know this is the beginning of my hook part. All right, so I'm gonna listen to it, and you know, I'll try to move my mic closer just so maybe this is so ghetto, I know. So maybe you can hear it just a little bit. But like, look down here. All right, now notice what I'm doing. I'm just gonna expand this little thing. See, notice down here at the bottom, I'm just making this a little wider so I can get right to point where I'm going to start talking, all right, which is right here. So one thing I can do is I can just hit the split button, okay, and I can delete everything up until this point because I don't need it because it's just me like doing stuff that means nothing. Okay, so now check it out.
Everybody.
All right, so did you hear that little that little part where I inhaled, what I'm going to do now is, first of all, I'm going to drag this to the beginning, okay? So I'll shrink down the timeline. I'll make sure this is drug over to the beginning of the timeline. That is important. Otherwise, if we render it in, like, let's say this clip was over here somewhere, it might export like just a bunch of blank space in the beginning. So we don't want to do that. You know, we always want it to, whenever we cut something out, we want to make sure everything's sort of all together, you know. So I think we're good over there. Looks like we are. Okay. And I will just move this thing all the way back to the beginning, all right, of our timeline. And now I'm going to expand it because I want to get rid of that little inhale part, you know. So let's see here. There it is. All right. So what I'm going to do is pretty simple. I'll just expand this, and you can even see, whoops, I did that too long. This is what's so cool about apps like this, is I can see, all right, this little sound wave here, watch. That little part was me inhaling, that little thing, to take that breath to speak. So I just know, like, okay, well, I don't want to have that in there, so I'll get rid of it. Now, there's likely a cool little shortcut where we can trim it to right where we are, which, of course, I don't see, and I'm not going to take forever to try to find it, so whatever. You know, in the fancier apps, you've got that. So I'm just going to hit split. All right, I'm going to delete this part because we don't need it, you know? So why would we keep it if we don't need it? And then I'll drag this thing back to the beginning. So you always want to drag back to the beginning. Okay, so now, all right, and I know this is just so completely redneck engineering. Now we're going to see if we can get a good this part, all right? So
Hey everybody, Frank Kern here, and in this video, you're going to learn 3 simple ways to double any business.
boom. Okay, I'll take that, right? So that's usable. And look at that, dude. It was like 6 seconds, almost perfect. So, alrighty. So I'll hit, let's see, split right here. And so that'll cut that. So we're going to keep this part, right? So that's good. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure we get this little part down so we can keep that part, all right? So I've got the timeline stretched out so I can see those sound waves. So I'm just going to make it smaller, okay? And I remember we did it a couple of times. You can see, you know, when we've got like little breaks in here. So let's just kind of move over to here and play it and see what we've got.
And this business is okay.
So obviously I wouldn't want to keep that in there, all right? So let's see here. Listen to me yapping.
Probably don't want to keep that in there.
Sound familiar?
All right, so no need to stop, start, get flustered. Like, all right, damn it, let's start that again. And listen, this video was only going to be
perfect. Okay, so I remember doing this, and I remember like, okay, that last take of that is pretty good. So I'm going to come over here. All right. I'm going to hit it again.
And
great. So you hear that inhale? I think I'll keep that.
All right, guys. So you can clearly see how I'm editing the dumb stuff out of the audio. What I want to show you next is all of this. Of course, you can have this video. I just don't want to keep you forever. Is what happens once you've edited all the dumb crap out, how you can turn this into a video sales letter, which is freaking awesome. So I'm going to hit play again here on this video, and hopefully it'll pick up there.
So one thing we can do is let's go ahead and get this sucker subtitled out. All right, so I'm going to hit subtitles. I'm going to do auto subtitle. That means it's going to automatically transcribe all of this stuff. All right, I'm going to highlight both of these just in case. Okay, let me hit subtitles again. Where'd you go? Subtitles, there we go. Auto subtitle, okay, and it's this video that we're subtitling, and I'm going to hit start, and it's going to take a minute. It's going to work its magic, and then we'll have subtitles. It'll probably need a little bit of editing by us, which is cool. So I'll pause this. Okay, so check this out. Now we've got words on screen. Now what's cool is we can edit this stuff, right? But let's just see how good of a job it did in terms of transcribing it, all right? And if it messed it up, I think we can edit it. We shall see. I'm 99% certain. Yeah, obviously. Look, there it is. That's where we would edit if it had a typo or its transcription did something weird. Incidentally, I think that whole thing took like 2 minutes. I was actually
texting with with my friend when it was editing in the background. Okay, so let's have a look.
Hey everybody, Frank Kern here, and in this video, you're going to learn 3 simple ways to double any business. And listen, this video is only going to be entertaining and good for you if you actually already have a business that sells things. So if you're running ads to sell your products, or if you've hit a revenue area and you're just like sort of hit a ceiling and you're feeling stuck, you're going to love this. This is not about how to start a business. So if you don't have a business, you're probably going to think this is boring. But if you do have a business and you want to double it, keep watching, because I'm about to show you 3 ways you could literally double any business.
That is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe how well that worked. Okay, so what are we going to do though? So now we've got we've turned this into a VSL basically, right? So what are we going to do? Well, we got to do something about this background. The words on the screen are pretty good. And look, check this out. We can make this bigger if we want to, and center it, and all this other kind of groovy stuff. Here, let me move that out of the way there. In fact, check this out. Okay, let's see if it'll automatically center, like kind of how Apple does. Close enough. Okay, so we can keep this thing, and I believe, where are we here? Styles. All right, so on our styles of subtitles, we can change how it looks and everything, but I think I'll do that later after we handle this background issue. All right, because our background obviously has to change. I just want it to be a plain color. Okay, so let's see here. What can we do about the background? Let's have a look. I know there's something that can be done. So we'll click on, let's see, elements here. Oh, what do you know? All right, let's take a shape. Where is it? All right, let's add this sucker. Oh my gosh, are you freaking kidding me? Look at this. Okay, sweet. Shape added. I'm literally, dude, look at this. I'm just dragging the colored square here. Okay, so what color should our background be? I'll just sort of drag this thing around here. All right, so now look, this is ridiculous. So we've got a classic VSL. We just need to address how this text looks, right? So we could do a multitude of things if we wanted to. First of all, I could change this color, right? If I wanted to, of the background. And I think it's okay. Really, you know what? Let's just be wild and crazy. Let's go with black. That looks great. Look at that. Okay, so now we have this thing. Now, one thing you got to pay attention to, all right, is the shape part might go away here. Yeah. So if we want to make it where the shape is all the way to the end of the video, we just drag that. All right. And now it's we can clearly see, okay, let's just move this up. Oh, sorry. I'm moving the wrong thing. Dang it. I want to move the shape back down. I meant to move our subtitles. Cool. So I'll click the subtitles here. There we go. Now I just want to move these subtitles up a hair, and I think they're better. I think they're better centered just like this. And we could play with the with the styles of them. Well, now that's messed it up. So I don't want to do that. How do I do that? Oh boy, I don't want to do any of that. Let me hit back. Get out of there. There we go. There we are. All right. So I'm not going to mess with those because it'll do it. But look, you can, if you want to. We can play with all sorts of stuff. We can change the font if we want to. Whoa, but I'm cool with what it was, which was, I think, Roboto. So dang it, now I got to find it on here. There it is. Looks good. Looks perfect. All right, check it out. Look at this.
This is unbelievable how...
Wait a minute. Why is that recording this thing? That doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, hang on. Okay, I have no idea why it did that, but I just played the whole thing back and it was perfect. So I'll export this, right? And look at that. You have got to be kidding me. Okay. I'm going to burn the subtitles into the video. That means it's part of the video now. I'll export it. We'll wait a little bit. It'll process. I'll just pause this so you don't have to watch me do it because it's boring. That didn't take long. I'm just going to download it now. Okay, and so this is the next one. And now we're good to go. So, dude,
Seriously. If you're freaked out about making videos, you can literally do the entire thing like I just did. Use, what the heck, Veed. I always want to say that. All right, dudes. So, like, I recorded that thing, I can't remember how many months ago. That was before I built the framework that I'm sharing with you. Let me get this little thing. Oh, hang on. I got to hit stop share. All right. I'm going to assume, oh, put myself back on here. Hey, y'all. Okay. So I'm going to assume you can still hear me and stuff. Get rid of this video over here. All right. So on that one, what the heck is wrong with the thing? Is that still me? Can y'all hear me all right? Like my thing looks weird here. All right, I'm on the camera and everything. Okay, strange. I don't know what's going on with that. Nonetheless, all right. So when I made that, I was pretty new to that concept of like, okay, let's just talk it out. It was before I developed the framework that I gave you. So you just watched me sort of, showing someone how to literally just ad lib just with a freaking bullet points and just make it up and make a video. So now you've got like that whole methodology. And since then, I want to show you what I do. All right. So first, let me make sure you can see my screen. Okay. Desktop number 1. Okay. So you should see ye olde screen here. All right. And this VSL right here. All right. I'll just play it. You might not be able to hear it because of the way that I might have vanished. I think like my Zoom controls got weird or something bizarre. I don't see myself on Zoom anymore. Can y'all still see everything? It doesn't really matter if you see me, but yeah, you're still okay. Just for whatever reason, my monitor that shows me is gone, but I'm not going to sweat that. All right. So this thing right here. All right. I'll just hit play for a second. You might not be able to hear it. It doesn't matter. Ever since iOS 14 hit, social media app. All right, so I don't know why that stopped because it's an 11-minute video. It might be the internet getting weird. Strange. Okay, for whatever reason, it just doesn't want to play back, probably because I'm on camera. All right, but notice this is an 11-minute VSL. All right, so here's how I made that. I took my phone, all right, and I spoke into the phone using the precursor to the template that you have. It was before I like really fleshed it out and made a cool template. And I just yipped and yapped into my phone. I uploaded my transcription, or rather I uploaded the audio to rev.com, rev.com. And this is the audio. And what I did was I went through it, and look, you can see right here, like some of the stuff I didn't really like. So what I did is I looked at it and I was like, okay, this is all right. And then I just reread it again into my phone and I uploaded it to Veed. And then I did the exact same thing that you saw, which was I edited out the dumb parts of the audio and let Veed transcribe it and turn it into a sales message. And this thing, let's see if it'll play again. Ads have gotten so much better. And I don't know why it keeps stopping. It's just being an asshole. But look, you can see, where is it? You can see where I was talking about iOS 14. So I'm just taking my transcripts and just rereading them better. Like so I do one rough draft, get it transcribed, and then I just edit it out and reread it and upload it to Veed, cut out the dumb stuff, and you're good. So it's literally that simple. So the first part of that demonstration video where I'm showing you how to use the screen recorder and stuff, I was just like, holy shit, you don't even have to read it into your damn phone if you don't want to. You can literally just like record yourself going through the slides, and do the editing that way if you want to. But I do it the old just talking to the phone while looking at the slides method. And it works pretty good. It works really, really well. So what you're seeing right here, these are the transcripts. Like I told you, you just ramble on, you get it transcribed, and you can edit them. I'll download them and edit the downloaded version, and I reread it back, and I upload that recording into Veed, and it turns into something like this. using the process that you saw. And it's mindlessly simple. So there's no reason not to be able to do this. And the transcripts, incidentally, like you don't have to make a video. You could just edit your transcripts into a letter format, but it seems like video just works so much better these days. So I kind of use video more, but I don't have any real data to support that. I just like video better, especially for mobile. So many transactions are done on mobile now. I think if you got a really long form sales letter on mobile, might not convert as well as video. But then again, of course, we all know the answer to the question is to test. Okay. So that concludes our freaking 8 million hours of content for today. I totally thought that I was going to run out of content and leave y'all hanging today. Tomorrow won't be as long. Probably won't be as long. I'm going to try not to make it as long because I know you don't want to be on here forever. I'm going to edit this recording. All right. So I'll do that and like edit out the dumb stuff and make a better version of it. We'll have that uploaded into the members area for you by the end of the day, assuming the computer doesn't crash. And I'll also make sure you get the slides. So all that'll be in your members area. But now I can answer your questions. I can stop sharing the old screen here. All right. And so weird. Like, I don't see myself in Zoom anywhere, but whatever. But what would be helpful? Oh, hell, now I've lost the Zoom controls, y'all. What would be helpful is if you have a question, put it in the Q&A part. All right. Not the comments, but the Q&A part. And I'm going to start with the questions that are timestamped now. So, or like around now. So it's 121. So I'm going to start with questions that are from 121 and beyond, because they were probably, well, if you can't ask it again, that means you're probably not here, right? So remember the Q&A part, not the comments part, because the comments part moves. Let's see. John says you mentioned 3 days, but we got 5 Zoom links. Are there a couple of extra bonus sessions? Not that I've planned, but you never know. We just like giving away Zoom links. I don't know why we did that. Okay, Shamir, as a consultant, I'll spend a lot of time actually servicing clients. How could you frame a guarantee that doesn't, oh man, the Q&A moves too, that doesn't include giving money back? Or do you always recommend the money back thing? Giving money back for time lost is crappy. Well, you don't do a guarantee for consulting services. And so I addressed that when I was actually giving the guarantee slide. I was like, hey, if you're selling a strategy session or whatever, just guarantee them that you're not going to waste their time and just make that as a secondary promise. But you don't have to do like a money back guarantee for your strategy session because they're not paying you for the strategy session. Or if you want to collect a deposit for your strategy session, a guarantee works like this. I'm going to give you this free strategy session, benefit, everything, call to action. You need to leave $100 deposit to prove you're a real person. However, you can have your $100 back under any and every circumstance known to man. And I take it one step further, which is if you feel I wasted your time, I will give you double your deposit back. So that has worked very, very well for me. But I don't use it much anymore because it's like, I don't want the extra friction of people having to leave a deposit. It's just, if they don't like good prospects, we just don't talk to them, so it's easier. Yes. So I've got like Veed editing questions. Dave says, can you add artwork to the subtitles and stuff in Veed? Dude, Veed is ridiculous. Like I know like just enough to make, to talk into my phone and turn it into a video sales letter. I have messed around with Veed, and you can like put little emojis and stuff in there, and you can do all kinds of stuff with Veed. It's crazy. It's like a really good editing tool. But the thing I like it the best for is you can take an audio file, and that some bitch will transcribe it real good. It transcribes it great and make a VSL out of it. And so that's like, man, really? Like that's unbelievable to me. That's great. So extremely good. Okay, let's see. My man Azus says, our mission is to take unloved, rundown properties and transform them into warm, safe, and comfortable homes for people to live in and call their own. As a property company, we aim to take the pain out of property investment from start to finish. I'm looking for a question. We love nothing better than taking over a property, whether that be in a management role or purchasing, totally renovating something. If you have any properties, oh, well, dude, there's no question there. Okay. That sounded cool, though. Would this work for LinkedIn?
well, first of all, no, like the thing, actually, I don't think so. I'm not sure if you can automate chat on LinkedIn or not. The manual version, yes. Automated version of like getting someone to comment, then automatically replying and sending them your offer. I don't know if that automation is available for LinkedIn, but the manual version, yeah. Remember, all we were doing today is we're taking care of what happens when they get to your offer, right? Because getting people to the damn offer is child's play. It really is. It's not hard. You put up an ad and say, go here if you want to buy some stuff, and people go. It's turning them into customers that's hard. Now, I'm not going to have you do that in this class. We're going to do a lot of organic, and we're going to be a lot more strategic. My point is driving traffic organically via this method, via ads. It's not hard. What to say on the page is hard. So I wanted to give you this, like, dude, we're making the damn thing work. When they get there, they're going to buy, by gosh, trying to solve that problem in advance. I'll post the YouTube ad script up for you in the members area. I got a whole training for YouTube that I've never released outside of a certification program. Is freaking solid. You'll love it. So yeah, I'll give it to y'all. Okay, let's see. Kieran has a Facebook account, but it's for use with family and friends. Don't want to post marketing stuff. How should I set up Facebook? So I have an account for marketing. Set up a business page. And if it doesn't matter if nobody's ever seen it. So you're like a perfect use case scenario for this, because even though you might have a lot of friends and family, you're going to create a business page for Facebook where you post business stuff, and nobody's ever seen anything on that page because it doesn't freaking exist yet. And you'll follow along with this and everything will be fine. But this is a blanket statement. You want to do all of this stuff, all of these posts from a business page, because we can boost them and advertise them, and it does more retargeting stuff, and it's just cooler. All righty. Gene says, I sell inexpensive jewelry on Facebook. How is this going to help me? Easiest thing. All right. So I was reading in the comments, we're like, I sell jewelry. This won't work for me. Of course, this will work for you. People want to be sold jewelry, right? So why do people buy jewelry? Well, 10-year anniversary just happened. I just had my 10-year anniversary. It's like, man, this has got to be a big deal. I got to get something really, really nice. Like, this is my problem. 10-year anniversary is coming up. I need a really good 10-year anniversary gift. I don't know what to get. There's a million situations like that a jewelry buyer could be experiencing. You make a post, right? Many people, and we'll get into the post styles later, and so not today, but let's just say you have a post that if you want the ultimate 10-year anniversary buyer's guide for jewelry, let me know and I'll send it to you. And then you send them to a page where you are selling them on any of 5 or 6 items from a very high-end collection of jewelry or inexpensive jewelry. It doesn't matter. I'm just using that one particular thing. Now you've got it, right? The problem, if you want to, or rather, like, here's the whole formula. I won't go through all 16 steps, but if you want your wife to really feel loved and cherished on your 10-year anniversary, and if you want your friends to be embarrassed that they didn't give as good of a gift to their wives as you gave to your wife, and if you want your wife's friends to envy her for how lucky she is for having a considerate husband like you, and if at the end of the day you just live to see your wife's smile, then pay attention to every single word of this letter. Now we're in phase 2, right? Because you're about to discover exactly what almost every single woman on the planet wants for her 10-year anniversary. Hi, my name's Gene. I've been selling jewelry and shit, yada, 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 yada. Many clients come to me because they have this problem. And here are some of the mistakes that they have made. And here's what we found works. And introducing the big ass pair of diamond earrings, which is, it's always going to be big ass pairs of, big ass diamonds is almost always the answer for the 10-year anniversary. By the way, I found that out. Surprise, like, who knew? All right. So it's like, it's the same. And no matter what we're doing, we could be selling the degree of storytelling and the degree of benefits and stuff may change. It would be difficult for me to go through that whole thing for this bottle of water, but I would do an abbreviated form of that, selling a bottle of water, no problem. Okay, let's see here. All right. Can your strategy be used to get organic form traffic on Facebook for a high ticket SEO service? Yes, it definitely can. All right. So I will give you post examples and stuff tomorrow. So again, like today is all about what to do when they get there. Getting them there is not hard. Like, just trust me on that one. You'll see tomorrow. You'll be like, oh my God, dude, really? It's just not that freaking difficult. Today's focus was what happens when they get to your website. So all the work we're going to do actually brings you money. That's what we worked on today. Right. So what we built today, to answer Brad's question, are we posting our VSL right on Facebook as a post? The answer is no. You want to put your video sales letter on your web page, and it doesn't have to be a video. You can just use the transcripts as a letter and format that if you want to in a long form sales letter format. It doesn't matter. But here's what's cool is once you do that framework, you're going to be able to talk about, like, remember the very first thing we talked about today was everything we do, all of our posts, all of our emails, everything we ever talk about ever is their problem, the solution to the problem, how we can solve it, how they can also solve it, how to buy our stuff. Like, we're only talking about that. So when you go through that framework that I gave you, your level of clarity of messaging for all of your posts, which I'm going to show you the 3 posts tomorrow, is going to be so much freaking better, because you're going to know exactly who you're talking to, and you're going to know all the benefits. You're going to have all that stuff out. So you're also going to be using that template very much when it comes to making posts. You don't have to redo it every single time. You just use those assets. Like, oh, here are my benefits. Okay, I could just make it one post about one benefit, or one post about a common problem, or one post about the solution and the unexpected, like all that stuff, right? Okay, I think you get it. All right. This is from Steve. Skincare is a good example. There are a lot of low-end and high-end treatments with lots of competition. How do you stand out in the high-end Botox fillers where everyone is just looking for the cheapest price? It depends on who you want, right? So if it were me and I didn't want the cheapest price people, I would take that positioning, right? So I would, like, everything that I would say, and the question really isn't related to the actual offer, is related to what are we saying to attract people who are willing to pay more money. So that is actually in, okay, just to be clear, like within the whole big picture process. Let me share the screen with you here. Hang on. Desktop number 1. Oh, damn. Oh, don't do that. Oh, shit. Okay. Almost hit the end button. And so the share button's like a millimeter from the end button on Zoom. Have you ever noticed that? Like, Zoom, come on, man. Okay. Almost canceled my own freaking webinar by accident. All right. So that thing of, hey, how are we going to stand out? We can do that here to a degree, but it's really done here in terms of who we're attracting that's ultimately going to see the offer. Right. So if it were me, and if you said, all right, Frank, you got a skincare clinic now and you're selling Botox and fillers and stuff, I'd be like, do you really want to pay some dude that's only charging you $12 an hour to inject your face with botulism? Have you ever heard of the phrase, you get what you pay for? I would also use phrases like reassuringly expensive, and so that would be it. Like, there's no, like, I don't do skincare, right? But if I were to go to a doctor to do any medical procedure at all, I ain't going to the cheap doctor. Hell no. Now, there's some people that would, but I'm scared of the doctors anyway. But, that's not very difficult of a proposition. It's just some people are cheap and you're not going to change their minds. But some people are like me, and you just want to call out to the people that are like me. They're like, hey, this is a big deal, this problem. Your skin's all messed up and you need fillers. This is like, if someone makes a mistake on your face, dude, it's your face. Do you want to look like a cat lady? Hell no, you don't want to look like a cat lady. That's why you need blah, 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 blah. And now you're talking to the right people, So kind of a long-winded answer to that, but an answer nonetheless. All right. An answer nonetheless. This Michael asked, how much overlap does this have with intent-based branding? A little bit, but with intent-based branding, we don't talk about what to do when they respond. So what you will see and how you ended up getting here most likely is you saw posts on social and you commented, and then you got like all of this follow-up as a result of that. So all of that strategy is new, right? So I think you're gonna like it very much. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Mike says, I'd love to hear about how the window washer uses the system. We just want to set appointments for home services. Dude, it was like, if you want us to wash your windows, let us know in the comments and we will direct message you with times. Yeah, the guy's name was Paul. They still run that. It still works for them. It's ridiculous. So you don't have to overcomplicate this, like, and then someone would comment. And then the chat bot would say, okay, cool. Here's the calendar. And that was kind of it. It's crazy. All right. John says, my offer is a subscription. Can I guarantee a refund the current month and not the whole time people were members for? Is that acceptable? Sure, it's your show. So what Brendan Burchard does. So go to his website and look at it, the way he words his guarantee. It's very, very good. Let's see. Julie says, I'm confused about the steps from phone record to Veed. Okay, so let's say you got something that you recorded on your phone, all right, and you like it. What you can do is you want to get it off of your phone and onto a computer. So you can email it to yourself, as weird as that sounds, assuming it's not too big of a file, which it probably won't be because it's just audio, right? So you would literally let's see, you got let me find my voice memo thing. All right, I got my voice memos. Hang on, I'm going to pull one up. Of course, there we go. My phone updated, so now it's like, here's all the new crap. Okay. Look, this is so funny. Like, here's one that I can't see the damn monitor to see myself here, but this is actually one that I did, social pitch number 2. So look, this is me doing it, right? So here's social media product pitch right here. That was 13 minutes and 24 seconds. I had it transcribed and then I reread it, and there's social pitch 2. And that's the better version, right? Because I edited out the dumb stuff and then I just kind of looked at the transcripts and reread that with a lot more clarity and confidence. Okay, here. Hang on. I'm trying to let you hear it. Obviously, I'm just screwing around here for the first 9 seconds. Let me fast forward. When it comes to selling things online, one of the funnest things to do is to hit the refresh button on your stats and see your sales totals go up. And then you get... Okay, so like that's literally, I'm like doing it. All right, so now we got the thingy here. And next to your voice memo, there's 3 little buttons. And then you can just share it. See? And so you can there's all these options. I don't know if you can see that. But I could just share it with over to my computer using AirDrop. I can email it to myself. Hell, you can even text these things to people if they're not too long. But dude, that's literally it. So then once it's on your computer, you can just upload it to Veed. And of course, I gave that answer without actually looking to see if you can upload from a telephone directly to Veed. 99% chance you can just do it, directly there. So I didn't even think about that. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. All right. John says, you never mentioned a disclaimer. Is that an omission or does it no longer apply? I don't think you mean a legal disclaimer. I think you're referring to my book framework where it's like, but first, the disclaimer, you need to know that here's the thing that you're skeptical of and your skepticism is spot on. And it's very similar to the common problem phase, right? So you can do it if you want. I like just exacerbating the common problem and explaining that I've tried that better, because this is newer. All right, so let's see. Someone says, anonymous attendee says, so today's logical output would be a long form VSL covering the 16-point offer that is hosted at a landing page as a video that's essentially audio with scrolling transcript, or could be formatted as a long-term letter on the offer landing page. Yes. Oh, that's not a content. Well, maybe that's not a question, but it might be. The tools were to iteratively use an audio video recorder feeding into something such as Veed.io to get an auto transcript, then render the scrolling transcript VSL and have the transcript info for long form letter content starting at point if you choose that. Well, yeah, exactly. You said it way smarter sounding than I make it sound, though. Your way was like cooler sounding. All right, guys, this is fantastic, and I am like out of brain power, so I'm reluctant to answer other questions because I think I might give you stupid answers because I've been talking for almost 3 hours and I haven't had any food, and so the old brain's not working as good as it should. It doesn't work that good to begin with. But for the love of Christmas, please do this today. I am begging you to do this today. You will have a good offer. And even if you already have an offer, just do this anyway, because it's not hard. All right. You ain't going to cost you anything. Like Veed, I forgot what it is to use Veed, but it's like not enough to matter. Right. And we must have a good offer for all the traffic that we're going to send, because the social stuff works ridiculously well. Like it's insane. Well, it ain't going to be that, I mean, you're not sending them to a page where people buy stuff and there's, kind of ain't gonna make no money, right? So we got to fix that offer up pretty good. So please use this. I beg of you. It works. It's what I use. If you go and look at the video for this very class, the pitch part of the video is done through Veed with me just talking, right? It works real good. Okay, so off you go. I'll have all this stuff posted for you in the members area. It's going to take a while to edit and render and upload this thing. So probably like later this evening is when the actual recordings will be up. All right. So thank you all so much. And I will see you tomorrow morning. And tomorrow we're going to, well, I was going to show you on the screen, but tomorrow we're going to talk about the 3 post types and exactly what to say in each type of post. And that's going to help you, by the way. Like, how do I attract people with money? And how do I get these people? That's done through the posts and stuff, not necessarily through the offer. All right. Coolio. I will try to find the end button. There it is. Okay. Take it easy, y'all.